Welcome to another episode of the Sound Sister Podcast. I'm your host, Drea Doll, a.k.a. Dre Wow, a.k.a. your host with the most, here from the Sound Sister Studio in Mesa, Arizona. Today, this episode, we're going to have tattoo artist Miss Kitty. You might remember I discovered her back at the Hell City Tattoo Festival and fell in love with this woman's work. I'm talking UFOs, donuts, Sasquatch, Simpsons characters, and I was like, this woman has literally been in my brain and has drawn it out on paper, and please put all of your work on my body because this is amazing. I'm here with my lovely ladies. Say hello, ladies.
Meow.
Meow. Meow.
Hello, it's Angela Rose Red.
Gabby Chaos.
Meow meow.
Okay, all right. So we got some meows going on in here, but that, that's cool. You can't go wrong with kitties. I mean, it is a Miss Kitty episode, so meow.
At the end, we gotta count how many meows we did.
It should be like Pee-wee's Playhouse. Every time someone says meows, then we scream.
Oh, so. Yeah.
It's like the secret word.
You gotta be kidding me right now.
I wonder. You gotta be kidding me right now. Oh, shit.
Son of a kitty.
Oh, man. Oh my God, those. All right, let's go do around the room. I'll start off first here. Just want to update you guys real quick on what's going on with me and my health. I am happy to report that I've officially lost 30 pounds.
Wow.
In 11 weeks. On that note, went to the doctor on Wednesday. She was really happy with my results. Nice. She was also kind of sad. Dr. Starr was a little sad because I'm doing so well. Yeah. So it means I don't have to go see her anymore.
Aww.
And I was a little sad too because, I like seeing my doctor.
But that's unlike the other doctors who just keep on pumping you full of stuff because they want you to come back more and more.
Absolutely.
That's proof it works.
I'm telling you guys, change your diet and just throw some cardio or weightlifting in there and you can see results as fast as I did. Yeah. Honestly, I'm really shocked at how far I've come in 11 weeks. I figured I'd be telling you, I lost 30 pounds 6 months from now, not 11 weeks later.
Well, you changed your diet too, so that's a big part of it.
Right, yeah, the whole diet thing, that's huge. Like I was telling you guys, I can't eat anything that I want to, just meat and vegetables. But no, that's going good. I see her in November, and then we'll retest to see where I'm actually at on the diabetic scale. So we're hoping by November, which is shockingly 5 weeks from now.
Shit,
crazy.
Yeah.
Wow,
this year has seriously flown by. That I'll have a better number. So sweet.
Congrats, dude.
Then, thank you.
Yeah. That's exciting.
Yeah. Nice. Then Wednesday night I made it out to the Joan Jett movie and got to see it at Film Bar. And it was really good. So I highly suggest that if you like Joan Jett and you want to learn about early punk rock, you need to go see it because Iggy Pop's in it, Kathleen Hanna's in it, Billie Joe Armstrong's in it. We're getting interviews from her early band members. Awesome. Sherry Curry's in it.
So it's more like a documentary?
It's more documentary style. I was kind of hoping they would touch more on like just having her tell stories about all the crazy shit that happened back then. I mean, these girls went through so much at the time. True trailblazers to women in rock and roll. Joan Jett forever will be in the rock and roll history books, and that's the way she wanted it. So, yes, go out and see it. I definitely recommend 10 out of 10 stars.
Nice.
So,
okay.
Yeah.
It's not playing anymore, right? It was just for one night.
I think it's in select theaters. Yeah. It's not playing anywhere in Phoenix. So I think you can go down and do a digital download and view it that way. Did you try?
Yeah, it wasn't.
It wasn't
anywhere.
On there?
No, it wasn't on Amazon Prime or.
Oh shit! Okay.
Apple, I don't know. So maybe later on. But,
yeah.
Or maybe I just couldn't find it. But I follow the links and nothing.
Oh man! But when it does, you guys gotta go see it. So. Yeah. Angela, what's going on with you?
Not much. Since Vegas, I've been just laying low. I actually was doing homework last night at 7:30 at night.
On a Saturday?
On a Saturday night.
Nice.
I was doing homework. And then, well, today after this, I have a photo shoot, but it's someone's taking my photos, so that's going to be awkward. I mean, you guys know how I am in front of a camera. I just freeze. I don't know what to do. And I look back, I'm like, I didn't even know my face could do that. What am I doing? I never know what to do with my hands. But yeah, I'm pretty excited because this is a professional, and so she's used to people that are awkward. I mean, even though I like to take photos, doesn't mean I know how to be in them. So
Right.
I'm hoping to get some tips and pointers. So
Just the
that'll be good.
tips.
Just the tips.
Who's a photographer?
Her name is Delon, and she's a part of Desert Blush Photography. She does all kinds of style photography, mostly in studio session. She does pinups. She does boudoir photography, lifestyle photography, maternity, just all kinds, a range of different portraits. I know her from my photography class. I've known her for a lot of years, so
okay.
I know I'm in good hands. So it'll be really interesting to see someone else that I've admired their work. And yeah, we'll see. So if you guys see any photos, then you know it went well.
So maybe we can post a picture for the viewers on the Sound
We'll see.
Sister Instagram.
Maybe.
Okay.
We'll see how it goes. I have no doubt in her abilities. I just have my doubt in my abilities as a subject. But we'll see. If anything else, it'll be a good laugh, right?
Yeah.
No, that's cool, dude. You'll have to let us know how it goes.
Yeah, for sure.
Show us the pics. So.
If I'm like crying in the corner because I failed her.
All the pictures you with your eyes closed.
Right.
Like,
But
yeah.
I was really excited because she came to me specifically because she said, you know, you're not the average body type. I love your curves. And I think if I had a photo on my website and women saw that and, you know, that aren't the average typical sizes of America, they might feel empowered that they can do it too and find their inner beauty. So
Cool.
I'm hoping maybe, you know, there's at least one of the shots where I don't make an asinine look on my face where it's usable, and maybe it'll make one person decide to get in front of the camera. So
Yeah.
That's cool, dude.
Thanks.
Stoked on that.
yeah.
And Gabby, what's going on?
Deep
That
sigh.
good, that good, huh?
Deep sigh.
All right. Lay it on
I'm a
us.
little tired from last night. We partied it up till like 10 p.m.
Damn,
Wow.
girl,
Yeah.
that's
Wow.
hardcore for
we
you.
were in the Filiberto's line at 10 p.m. You know.
What'd you do yesterday?
Well, I went to the. I got.
People are just like, she stays up till 10 and goes to the
Feel the
Filiberto's line, and that's her party.
I got put on the guest list for Dropkick Murphys and Flogging Molly.
Who are
thanks to
they? I'm
work.
kidding.
Right. So that was really fun. I mean, I don't remember if I've seen them before.
Could you
but-
hear anything up there?
Yeah, it was sounding great. I had like the best view ever.
Okay.
And then some guy came up to me. He was wearing a Venomous Pinks patch.
Oh
He's
shit.
like, "Hey, can I, you playing the Pinks?" I'm like, "Yeah, can I get a picture?" Sure. So then after that, he turns to my dude and says, "Thanks for bringing her out." So,
Whoa!
so me and my dude been trying to figure out what does it mean? Like,
Thanks for letting her out of your cage.
yeah, like I'm
what
like,
the
yeah.
hell?
So we're even this morning we're trying to figure out like what does it mean? Like, do I not? I mean, I know I don't really go out, but I don't know this guy.
Damn. Patch dude called you out, bro.
Bro, it's like, who are you? Like,
Why are you judging my
like I don't know if he was,
extracurricular patterns?
you know, people say stupid shit like when they're talking, but like, thanks for bringing her out. Like, I
That's
did it.
such a. That's
I
such
don't
a
know
random
you.
thing to say.
I know,
Like,
but he said it to him, and
it wasn't even to you. Like, thanks for coming out. It was
Yeah.
like, thanks
Yeah.
for letting her out.
yeah,
or
thanks for
something.
bringing her out. And I'm like, okay, I guess I'll go back to
You're
my
like, I'm
cage.
the one. I'm the one that got the passes. I
Yeah.
brought him out. What
That's
the
what
fuck?
he said. No, his fast response was like, she brought me, but he was already walking away. The whole night, we're like, what the fuck?
Trying to find dudes so you could set it straight.
What? It's like what? Why? It's like, it's like, all right. Well, I was allowed to go out for 2 hours on Friday or Saturday night. Guess I'll go back to my cage. But
yeah, right.
yeah, it was a great time, and then we just it let out early, so we just
Yeah,
got some Filibertos and
that's cool.
stayed up a little late. But
Was it packed?
oh, dude, that thing was like
Yeah.
it was an incredible view of just fucking people everywhere.
Did you see Juki from the crowd?
I didn't, but I found her. Well, she found me later on, and
Yeah.
then I just parted ways. But
Yeah.
there was a lot of people.
Have you seen Vlogging Molly or Dropkick over the years?
I saw Dropkick last summer with Rancid in fucking Canada, bitches. And
Oh,
it was
shit.
rad.
Oh, shit, that's right.
I was about to say, yeah, I was there. And then I was like, how didn't
Wait.
wait a second. No, I wasn't in Canada. It's pretty rad. I remember going and seeing Flogging Molly back when they used to come and do the St. Patty's at Mesa Amphitheater. I was really bummed that I didn't get a chance to go out. But so it definitely is full circle for me because I grew up blocks away from the Mesa Amphitheater. So
Oh, yeah.
it's my old hood. Going back to the little thanks for letting her out comment that dude made at you. It reminds me of a Facebook comment that I saw someone made to you
shit.
asking for guitar case gear.
Right.
And they're like, those cases are heavy. Best response ever.
What did you write?
What did you write, Drea?
I said, I was like, oh, woe is me. How is my little dainty self going to carry such a case? Like, fuck
Oh, you did write that?
yeah. I was
didn't
like,
see that.
really, dude?
Those were heavy.
Those are heavy.
I'm
I'm
gonna
like,
put wheels on it.
I mean, not to say you can't comment on the weight of things. It could have been saying like, "Oh, those are really, really heavy. I hated lugging mine around," or something like that. Not just saying, "Oh, are you?" It was to me very demeaning. Like, "Oh,
Well,
those are heavy."
and that's why I
wish
was
you
like,
would've
you know
said
what? I'm going to be a smart ass right now and just be like, well, how am I ever going to carry it?
I know.
I'm just a girl, guys. Like, how am I going to carry this
Been in
huge,
band
heavy
space
case?
for years.
You know,
lugging shit
obviously,
around.
I've been telling you, Gabby, for a while that I want, a heavy duty case because we're traveling more. We hopefully tour to Europe at some point. I need a fucking heavy duty
Yeah.
case. I need something that's going to
It's
last
too heavy.
because, gosh, I should just give up now, guys.
But she's getting all swole now.
Yeah, God, no. I'm glad you said something because,
You're all fired up now.
ah,
Right, meow.
meow. Fuck. Trigger word. All right.
She's got some catnip.
I'm gonna spaz out now. Touchy subject.
Kitty meow meow.
So yeah, I've had a good weekend. Still trying to figure out that comment, but
No. Yeah.
whatever.
Yeah.
It's cool.
All right. No. Yeah. On that note, let's move into the punk rock. Wait, did you have something else to say?
I was just gonna say I saw that you were shooting some merch for the Venomous Pinks on their site. You had your lighting and everything up. Good stuff.
Oh yeah, we're
Yep.
going legit now. We're gonna have a fucking web store.
Fuck
which,
the middleman.
yeah.
I'm sure
Well,
PayPal still takes a percentage.
I think it's like $1.
Oh, okay, so it's
Ish.
less than.
We've been using. Should I say it?
Bandcamp? Fuck it.
We've been using Bandcamp, and they take a dollar amount from every sale you make to pay back
Their service.
their service. And I told her this, and she looked into web stores, and she was like, "Fuck that, we're gonna do it ourselves."
DIY bitches.
Yeah,
So
so-
hopefully it's up tomorrow, but if viewers are listening, it'll be up a week before. So it's
Just
it'll
look
be
now.
up. If
It's
you're-
up.
it'll be- yeah, look now. It's up now.
It should be up.
Yeah.
You can buy CDs, merch,
It's all
whatever.
pretty.
I mean,
Hats.
product photography is difficult. You have to get the right.
Right, the right
You got to
angle,
angle,
lighting.
and you got to do a lot of calibration when
was
it comes
fun.
to
I
photos
learned
and
a
stuff.
lot.
Yeah, yeah.
But, yeah, it was fun.
Because you're
First time.
promising merch, and people expect certain colors, they expect certain details, and if it's not shown correctly, it gets possibly some returns and customer impacts there.
No returns.
No returns.
All sales final. Sorry.
You get what you get.
You get what you get.
I don't know about you guys. I'm terrible about returning things too. It's really bad.
All right, let's move into the punk rock news segment here on the Sound Sister podcast. Up first, we've got Hermosa Beach mural pays tribute to Black Flag, Descendants, Circle Jerks, Red Cross, and more. Recently, the Hermosa Beach Mural Project, a non-profit organization dedicated to beautifying the business district of Hermosa Beach through art, I love that, painted a mural saluting the area's punk history. Painted by Daniel Inez, the 2-story mural is on the side of a parking garage and pays tribute to Black Flag, Circle Jerks, Descendants, Red Cross, The Last, Pennywise, and a few others. is located near the corner of 13th and Hermosa Avenue. It looks pretty cool. I'm going out to California next month, so I'm going to try to make it out there and get a picture of this. But
Hell yeah.
how rad is that to just, art and music coming together, being combined, and
On a giant
showing
wall.
the city's history of all these amazing punk
That's
rock bands that
awesome.
have just come out of the beach area.
Yeah.
So I don't know. You guys go check it out on Instagram. Greg Hetson from Bad Religion and Circle Jerks posted a picture of it, and it looks really cool. I liked it. Next up here, we've got Terror came out with a new album called Total Retaliation. That's out now on Pure Noise Records. Check it out. Put it on at the gym. Get swole to it, bro. Do some hardcore kicks to it. I like Terror. I've been a fan since the second album. I don't know. I think deep inside I'm like a hardcore kid, but I don't go to the shows because I don't want to get kicked in the face.
Yeah, right.
So I'm just like,
That's fair.
We need to get you some cargo pants. Some of them.
some camo pants, some camo shorts.
I was thinking about buying some camo leggings because
Fuck yeah.
fucking swole, man. I looked into it, but I haven't done the purchase yet. But it's happening. I'll get you a pair too.
You're
Shit. Now we definitely need to
Yeah.
post some photos of both of you guys rocking your
Oh,
cargo
dude,
pants.
some fucking running shoes.
New Balances.
Yeah. Comfort before passion.
Right?
Oh, no, comfort before fashion.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah, that's her saying.
Passion before fashion,
Yeah.
as Toby says too. All right, so make sure you go check out the new Terror album. I listened to a few songs and it sounded really good. Next here we've got Rage Against the Machine announces vinyl reissue of entire discography. It has been announced that the entire Rage Against the Machine discography will be reissued on vinyl. This includes remaster versions of 1992's Rage Against the Machine, 96's Evil Empire, 99 The Battle of Los Angeles, 2000's Renegades, and 2003's Live at the Grand Auditorium. The release date for the record is September 28th, which was 2 days ago, so it's out now. So go pick up a copy.
Fucking A.
Were you into Rage Against the Machine in high school? Like big time?
Yes. It was my second concert, and it was at the Mason
Your
Amphitheater.
second concert?
Yeah. And I think I'd mentioned in a previous episode a little band known as the Foo Fighters were opening for them, but that was back when they were nobody. It was actually right on their first tour out. It was like looking at Dave Grohl and being like, oh, he's the drummer from Nirvana time period.
Okay.
I remember standing up and watching it and just freaking out. But one of the coolest memories of that show for me was, I guess, it was packed, and there was this female, I guess, that someone had grabbed her boobs or done something inappropriate in the crowd, and Zach saw it.
Yeah.
Zach, lead singer of Rage, saw it, and then he stopped it in the middle, and he went off on this whole political tangent about women being raped and beaten and going on statistics and basically belittling this person in front of a huge crowd of people.
Thousands of people.
Yeah. And security, of course, kicked him out. And as I want to say I was 16 at the time. It gave me just such power at that point because, that was to me something that I had never seen before, and it stuck in my mind.
Yeah,
to this
that's
day.
crazy.
Yeah,
dude.
it was interesting to witness him just
Well,
actually on the spot acting out what you think Zach would do in similar situations.
right. I love that. I'm glad he said something. We need to start saying something if we see shit like that in the crowd.
Yeah.
So for a big band like that, to him seeing it and being like, "Fuck that! Not at
Belittling
this
it.
show."
Yeah, I want to say the female was on somebody's shoulders, or something had happened where it was in plain view of him seeing inappropriateness.
Yeah.
And it made me feel safe. It made me feel safe at that point, And that, on a side note, that was also one of my first big pit experiences too. The time I was like size 3, super tiny, but going in the middle of the pit, and I just remember Killing the Name Of was like in the middle of when I was in the pit. I forever was changed by that, and I can't go back. And I wasn't gonna go back, you know. Just it woke me in the best way possible.
Hell yeah, dude, that's great. I haven't been able to see Rage Against the Machine. I mean, I don't think they don't tour anymore or whatever, right?
Right.
Yeah.
Side note: a few years later, I was in a department store. No, I was in a grocery store, and I turned out to use the ATM, and I could have sworn I saw Zach behind me. It was in the middle of the night, and I looked at him, and I looked again, and he just looked at me like, please don't fucking say anything. And then I just kind of, it was either that or it's just a guy that looks exactly like him, and he was like, please don't call me Zach because I'm not. Yeah, either way, in my mind, it was him.
Well, we'll just say it was him.
All right.
You did the right thing, and you just let him be.
What about you, Gabby? Are you a Rage Against the Machine fan, or was that before you?
It's before my time.
Yeah.
They got some good stuff.
I know that one song.
Which one?
I don't
Killing
know.
in the Name Of?
I don't know.
Killing in the Name Of.
In the middle,
I couldn't fucking
6-year-old me
say
was like, I'm gonna fucking die, but I'm gonna die happy.
Yeah.
I'm so happy I'm in this pit right now.
She died doing what she loves.
Yeah.
Raging against the machine. Side note, Tom Morello, fucking great guitar player.
Yes.
You have to be a badass to be
Yes.
put into a video game like Guitar Hero. So I'm just saying. Just want to put that out there.
Fucking A.
All right. Let's do a music break here. We're going to, in honor of our guests, we're going to jump into a little rock and roll ditty about flying saucers, since Miss Kitty implements UFOs into her artwork.
Yeah.
So this one's called Flying Saucer Rock and Roll by Billy Lee Riley, right here on the Sound Sister Podcast.
Well, the news of the saucer have been flying around. I'm the only one that's seen it on the ground. First thing I seen when I saw it land, the cats jumped out and they formed the band. My saucer rock and roll, my saucer rock and roll. I couldn't understand things they said about that crazy beat just to stop me dead. Rocking and rolling to the crazy flats. They brought out a sax and they started to blow. They brought out the drums and they started to roll. My saucer rock and roll. My saucer rock and roll. I couldn't understand the thing they said about that crazy beat just to stop me dead. Taught me how to do the ball. They were 3 foot high. They had a few bars. They brought a rock and roll all the way from Mars. My saucer rock and roll. My saucer rock and roll. I couldn't understand the thing they said about that crazy beat just to stop me dead.
Welcome back. That was Flying Saucer Rock and Roll by Billy Lee Riley. In the room, we've got Miss Kitty. Give it up, Miss Kitty! Yeah! Thank you.
We did some meows earlier in the name of you.
Yeah. We did some
I'm honored.
Harmony meows. So
well, they harmonied. I tried.
Well, thank you so much for coming in. I know it was kind of a drive for you.
Yeah, thanks for asking me to be here.
Yeah. So I kind of stumbled on your work at Hell City Tattoo Festival.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, likewise. I stumbled across your guys' music.
Oh, yeah. We walked by your booth, and I just saw UFOs and Sasquatch and donuts, and I was like, what is this?
It's everything I love.
You had
It's
me
all
a
the stuff that
donut.
makes me happy.
She had me a Simpsons character, too. I was like, oh, my God.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's great. So just give us a little bit of history about you, where you're from, and How did you end up in Prescott?
Oh, yeah. Okay. So I'm from Minneapolis. I moved to Arizona about 4 years ago, and I was trying to move to Jerome. I got sidetracked. I ended up, we'll just say, in the middle of nowhere in Arizona in an Earthship, which is kind of cool because it sounds like a spaceship, but it's on land. And I kind of had to move there when I saw it. I don't live there currently, but worked for about 1.5 years in Prescott, and it was just really difficult to do as much work as I wanted to do and kind of to really get to be busy in Arizona. So ended up working in Phoenix. Now I live in another eco home closer to Jerome than anything really. Like I live pretty rurally, but I work at the Golden Rule on Camelback in Phoenix.
Awesome. Yeah.
Do you make that drive every day? Or?
Yeah, I do. This is not an ideal situation. I was staying in an artist colony down here for a little bit, and I just didn't love it. The people there are great, but it wasn't for me. Right. And I'm hoping to get a van and live in a van while I'm down
by
here.
the river.
Yeah.
Nice.
Everyone in my life is really stoked about that plan, of course, too.
Some convincing there.
Yeah. No, that's cool. I love Jason from Golden Rule.
Yeah.
He used to be in a hardcore punk band back in the day called Where Eagles Dare. So, mad support for him.
For sure. Yeah, he's a good boss.
Yeah. So, I don't know. I have, generic, tattoo questions for you. How did you get into it?
My answer for that is usually not on purpose or by accident.
Love it.
My family definitely didn't want me to pursue art as a career and made that known when I was pretty young. So I kind of lied to myself when I was younger and told myself I was going to school for journalism. And I thought ignorantly, if you told people the truth about a situation, you could change their mind. And so I was definitely an idealist. And I got a little, I guess, disenfranchised when I realized that that's not always the case, and people believe what they want to believe. So I just kept drawing and working at a tattoo shop. Went to college when I was pretty young, and ended up, some of the people at the tattoo shop saw my drawings and said, "Oh, those are really good. You should tattoo." And it's really dumb, but that was the light bulb moment. There wasn't anyone I really aspired to be. There were no women that I knew in the industry back then. I started a long time ago.
Yeah.
So I was kind of just going at it blind, I guess, and someone proposed the idea, and I'm like, yeah, I should tattoo. Okay, cool. I'm going to do that. And I sought out an apprenticeship, did a 2-year apprenticeship, and then started tattooing.
Nice.
I love that you were trying to deny what you were meant to do.
Oh,
and
yeah.
it just came to you. It's
it
no,
does.
you're not escaping it.
Yeah.
So it just stared at you in the face. So you went to school for journalism. I'm studying journalism, and I've studied that. So I enjoyed it. Did you, is there any specific type of journalism that you were focusing on?
I wanted to do print journalism. Yeah. There's really no money in it.
I know. I agree. But there's money in podcasts. I'm just joking. There isn't. Basically, I like to do the things that don't make me money, but make me happy, right? I mean, that's the good stuff.
That's
so
a sacrifice.
Are you a photographer as well, or have you taken photos?
I like to take photos as a hobby, but I don't feel like I can claim that I'm a photographer.
What kind of, is there any other art mediums that you dabble in?
I do painting. I do a lot of painting. I do like photos, but I haven't branched out. I'm just about to put some stuff printed on metal, some photos that I've taken.
Oh, I love that.
Yeah,
I love
I think I
that.
might put some UFO stuff in there too, like a mixed media painting photo collab of like old ghost signs and old abandoned buildings that I've taken photos of.
That I love.
It's in the works.
I love photographing abandoned buildings. Actually, going to Jerome was the first time I kind of wandered into an abandoned building, and that's when I decided I wanted to study photography and dive into it. It's just such a magical place. But
it is.
I love abandoned urban exploring. That's my jam. So tell me, what kind of, have you had any creepy stories while you've been in some of those abandoned places?
Gosh, I don't know. I wish I did have a glaring story like that. I've heard lots of stories from other people about experiences like that. My old house in Minneapolis was definitely haunted. It was 105 years old and for sure haunted. I have so many people who can back that up, heard, phantom footsteps and things like that. And the tattoo shop I had in Minneapolis was for sure haunted too, by a maybe not so friendly spirit. Had some.
What did it do?
At one point, I was drawing really late at night, and the exterior of the building was all concrete, so the walls are solid. But from an interior wall, I heard it get punched. It sounded like somebody hit it real hard. And I was like, okay, packing up my stuff. I'm getting out of
The
here.
ghost was mad at
mad.
Priya's
I was
tattoo.
working
That he
away.
He was like, he was pissed.
angry tattoo.
You
mask.
spelled it wrong.
I swear you spelled check.
I have like a crazy haunted story myself. Actually, the Palo Verde, where I bartended for about 7 years, there's a lot of people that have passed on and used to be a regular there.
Yeah.
And I don't know, there was always jokes about it here and there, but things would happen like bottles would just come off of shelves and nobody was around, and I was just like, what's happening? But the weirdest thing is, and I swear to you, this happened. So I was sitting at the end of the bar. It was during the day. People went outside, and then all of a sudden, the back of my bra completely unhooked. Right?
What the fuck?
Stay with me. Okay? So I thought it was really odd because it felt really weird, and I'm just like, and it was in the middle of the day. It wasn't like I just rushed in and maybe it didn't class, like maybe something went weird. I kind of chalked it up. Maybe it was a bra malfunction.
Mm-hmm.
I told my boss this, and he said to me he left because there was this plaque above the register that had in loving memory, and it had all these different people's names and people that it was from, and all of them had passed away. I guess one of the guys on there was known for hugging bartenders and unhooking the back of their bra.
Damn.
Oh, no.
Well,
True fucking story. I know. I don't think that I'm that amazing. Some ghost wants to unhook my bra, but it was fucking a weird coincidence,
That
you
is.
guys. And it was. I mean, bras are hard to unhook.
Yeah, it's hard
And
to
it was
unhook yourself.
Multiple hooks, and it was fastened, and everything was great, and it felt weird, and I was totally by myself.
so for the bottles that would fly out, were you like, you're gonna pay for that?
You better tip me, ghost.
Ghost
Gabby,
tab.
you got some. You love.
Dude, I'm so
Ghost
excited to be
stories.
talking to you because, one, your fucking shirt. Yes, let's go into fucking UFOs.
I
aliens,
had to wear this.
I go into really deep, rabbit holes.
Yeah.
And I've taken a break the last couple months. It's been good for my mental state. But I've gone really fucking deep. Really deep. So, yeah.
Yeah,
so.
probably same. Yeah.
Let's hear it, guys. Let's freak out
dude.
some of our listeners.
Dude, I don't know where to even start.
Although, how many listeners? Because you're sitting right here.
Yeah. UFOs. I like the shirt. Have you seen anything weird in Prescott?
Well, I feel like
Yeah.
you can see more stuff there.
Right.
Yeah.
When I first moved to Arizona, I would just sit on my patio because I didn't have a TV and we barely had internet that would work, and just stare at the sky and listen
Right.
to Coast every night.
I love that
So
shit.
good. So I saw some things. I didn't have a glaring experience where I can say, okay, that's an extraterrestrial. That's from
Right.
another planet.
Shooting
for sure,
star
I saw
or
that.
not.
Yeah, I saw a light, and then kind of like a searchlight or a headlight come out of it
What the fuck?
and shoot around in the clouds. That was really strange. And then it went away. So it happened
That's a
so
UFO!
fast. It's for sure a UFO because I don't know what it is. So it's
Damn.
unidentified.
Yeah.
I did see a weird thing when I was driving home on 17. Yeah. This was the strangest thing I've ever seen.
Yes.
And while I wish I would have recorded it, as I was driving, I was just processing, trying to figure out what I was seeing. And I had a friend in Flagstaff and in Prescott see it at the same time. So I know I didn't imagine it.
Okay.
So from the west, a green light just came into my field of vision, my windshield, and then it made a 90-degree angle turn, and then another 90-degree angle turn. It turned into a gold line, and then proceeded to turn into glittery gold dust,
What the fuck?
and just kind of disappear.
Did you lose time?
No.
Were you wearing the same clothes afterwards?
Did anything hurt?
Did you check your
that's
bra?
trippy. Trippy,
Was it
man.
still clasped?
Damn, this is gonna be a great show.
Wow. So, tell me more. Tell me more.
I know. Have you made it up to Page yet? Page, Arizona? Where he was
No.
abducted?
Oh, no. I've been to, you're talking about Travis Walton.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Was that Page?
From the Fire in the Sky.
Uh,
I think it was
That's
like
in Heber.
Snowflake
That's where
Heber?
It's Heber.
Okay.
My parents
Something
live
up
up
there.
there. And it's
Yeah.
crazy because I've been going up there since I was 5. And so it's small town. You blink, you've gone through it. and there's these certain places that do wood carvings.
Yes.
And there's tons of alien wood carvings
That's
that people can go and purchase.
You need one for your yard, dude.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I don't
Yeah.
want to like
So it
invite
scares-
them.
No, but that's kind of
like I love
like,
this shit, but I
unfriend.
don't want you here. You know.
Yeah.
Like you're
I think it says like, hey,
Yeah.
we're cool.
we're cool.
Yeah.
You can go abduct my neighbors.
Right,
Steal
just
their-
don't
steal
come
I'm
their
aware of
cars.
you, so maybe just
know.
get somebody that doesn't know.
Right, or
Yeah,
like ghosts.
we're
Like
on the
you're
level.
cool. Spirits cool. Just don't come in my fucking house. Like,
Right.
I don't want it.
Yeah, I don't know. I think the weirdest thing I saw was driving one day here in the valley, and it was like I could see it. It was a light in the sky, and then all of a sudden it like moved super fast, and I was like, "That's too
man.
fast to be an airplane." And then it disappeared,
I've seen way too many, man.
and I was like, "What the fuck?" But it was one of those things where it was like it happened too fast to like try to get the phone and
Right.
record it. But I don't know what it
I
was.
still remember my first. I just remembering now when I first moved to the U.S. I was like 7.5, and there was this balcony out in the back, and I remember looking at the sky, and I could fucking draw it out, but it was like a square back, bullet-looking kind of spaceship. I'll draw it out right now. It was fucking weird. I just remember this.
The classic cigar shape.
And
craft.
well, like I've seen, like you know, and it had like weird shit. Maybe it was just my imagination.
That looks like a knife, dude.
Well, no, you know, like the little.
I'm taking a photo of this so we can
Well-
include in our episode gallery.
Well, it looked like you've seen. If you're going down that rabbit hole, you've seen different spaceships, but it had like a rectangular square back,
Yeah.
and that was like the closest one I've seen. But I always see shit in the sky and lights, so that's my one story. Never seen it. Remember that one time you said you might have seen something in the woods?
All right,
So switching from
we
UFOs.
from UFOs to Sasquatch.
Just covering all grounds.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
think they're
I
all
got
related.
some great donut stories later.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, we were in Oregon, and that's like the mecca of
Yeah.
Sasquatch up there. And I don't remember the trail we were on, but we were walking down from going up to this lake, and it's just me and Nydia, and we're just walking. You know, it's
Silent.
completely silent in the forest, no birds, which I remember was weird. You know, not hearing anything, just quiet and us. And I was walking, but I had my eyes down because the trail was kind of rocky. And I remember I could see something. You know how you can see something in the corner of your eye and you know something's there? And I remember seeing like some kind of black shape.
Damn.
And when I looked up, it was gone. And mind you, we're by ourselves. No birds, no
Middle of
nothing.
nowhere.
No other people either.
That's how you go missing.
She goes, "Did you see that?" I'm like, "Kinda, but I didn't see what it was. Did you see what it was?" And she's like, "No, but I saw it like in the corner of my eye." So then that led into have like Sasquatch sightings in the area, and there had been. And then I went down a rabbit hole, like, well, was it a Sasquatch, like, looking at us?
Well, let's
'Cause
talk.
it was dark.
Yeah.
It was a dark figure. I just remember it was, like, dark in the corner of my eye, and it was gone.
Yeah.
And the thing about Sasquatch is that they move, like, super fast, and they don't make noise.
Yeah.
So I was kind of, like, convinced. I was like, maybe it was one, you know?
Yeah.
My question for you is, for viewers, listeners, or whoever you are out there.
Remote viewers.
Yeah, there you go. For people that don't, haven't dived into the whole of Sasquatch, do you guys mind explaining that?
Man.
Ooh, I have a theory.
Oh,
Let's hear it.
yes.
Let's
I
hear it.
think
Okay.
that Sasquatch are not primates. You're not going to find a Sasquatch skeleton.
Right.
I don't think they're in that family. I think
They
it's a
bury the
little
dead.
crazy. Here we go. Here we go, world. I think they're interdimensional beings. They're
Yeah.
supernatural. They're on a different level from like mammal, primate,
Right.
Homo sapien. They exist in two worlds. And all the accounts that I've heard of people
Yeah.
talking about seeing them on like night vision or infrared, it's something that just like materializes. You know, the forest gets silent, like what you were saying.
Yeah.
Right.
And then they reappear, they wreak some havoc, and then they go away.
I've gone down that rabbit hole too.
Yeah.
Dimensions.
Yeah.
It's
Do
crazy
they hurt
shit, man.
people?
I think they're protectors of the forest.
Right. So if you're messing with the forest,
Yeah.
you're gonna get messed with. I
Yeah.
respect that, Sasquatch.
Right.
Yeah.
I loved hearing the
Well, see-
Hendersons, by the way.
Yeah, absolutely. We did. Hell yeah.
Younger, man.
That's where the
I mean, like
80s.
that whole dimension thing kind of makes sense because you say you listen to Coast to Coast, so you've heard of
Yes.
the 411.
Oh
missing
yeah,
people
when you
there,
said
right?
that's how you go missing, that's
Right,
immediately
so
what I
that
thought
could
of.
be like a weird dimension, like glitch thing.
Yeah.
Where people go missing and then they reappear fucking 100 miles up a mountain.
Yeah.
You know,
in an
It's-
impossible time
Right.
frame.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Oh,
what's the
it gives me
411
chills.
theory? Give me the
Dude.
411 on the 411.
There's so many books.
Right, there is. It's
I can't remember the
Actually,
guy's
brief me.
name.
Long story
but-
short, if you really want to get like a synopsis of it, Hulu just put a 411 movie on it. I'll get you the link.
oh, they
and
put
I'll
it
send-
up there.
They put it
Oh,
up.
I
Yeah,
have to watch
so watch
that.
it on Hulu. That way you can get an idea. But
All right, listeners, let's go watch Hulu.
I'll let Gabby explain it because she went down the 411 rabbit hole.
then
I
it's more
almost
than
ordered
another
all
video.
the books on Amazon.
Yeah,
too.
she scared the shit out of me because I was like, "Hey, dude, I think I'm gonna buy this trailer and just fucking go rogue and fuck my job," you know? Because I just went through like a divorce and I was like,
Yeah.
"Fuck it! Like, what do I need to work corporate?" Whatever.
Right,
Anyway, she's
right.
like, "No, you're gonna get stolen." I'm like, "What are you talking about?"
Well, at least you know she loves you.
Yeah.
Right. It's, the guy is David Paulides.
Yeah.
Paulides. He's a ex-investigator detective guy, and like all these national parks don't have a database of missing people, and there's a shit ton of missing people, weird stuff. Like they just randomly disappear and then reappear, or they appear in places that would make no sense, like hundreds of miles, or they would appear in the same spot. They just hundreds of people search. So he doesn't really have a theory, but it's like weird.
It's weird,
Weird
weird
alien.
connections. Like things are.
It is,
things are
and he's written
happening.
so many books. I mean, there's a movie. There's just and like every week there's a new like coast to coast thing.
Yeah. I
mean,
mean,
you can go down that rabbit hole.
back to what you were saying, how Gabby scared the shit out of you. She's good at that. So when I went on tour with you guys,
Oh, yeah.
I was almost sober that night. I mean, okay, maybe I wasn't after the show, but we were supposed to be sleeping so we can get up and drive to California.
Oh,
and
yeah.
we didn't get any sleep because
No.
you were
I was-
what were you?
Reptilians.
Reptilians,
I
yeah.
was in the reptilian YouTube.
Yeah,
rabbit
and I
hole.
was like, no fucking way. And I acted like, all right, it's cool. And I'm all, can I sleep next to you? Like, we were, you know,
Well, I was showing you
sleeping
videos of
buddies
like
because we were
humans, like
scared.
their necks changing and like weird shit and like eyes and like just it
A
was.
bunch of politicians are.
Yeah.
Yes.
All right, so what's your theory on reptilian
Supposed
people, man?
Yeah,
Yeah.
let's hear about
Let's
this.
hear your reptilians.
Well, I mean,
They run the world, man.
I don't know if I totally believe this, but the prevailing theory is that, yeah, they run the world. They're like part of some secret
New world order.
society. Yeah.
And they're also a part of the Illuminati, right? They're
Yeah,
part
and
of
the
Yeah.
Bilderbergs and
Freemasons.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know,
Yeah.
just
Illuminati,
yeah.
Pizza naughty.
pizza naughty.
Well, it's weird because I don't know. I love but I love like researching cults. I don't know.
Ooh.
I love watching Scientology documentaries. I also love the Mandela effect. Are you guys
Yeah.
familiar
I've
with the
gone down there.
Mandela
Let's
Oh,
effect?
just
yeah.
say that everything that you look for, like UFOs, dimensions, space traveling, time traveling, everything comes down to the fucking like Illuminati / reptilians, New World Order shit. Like, UFOs, spirits, like all this kinds of shit. Like, I've gone really deep years into this stuff, but like, I once wanted to do like a chart, and then it would all just line up to the
You
same
should.
fucking thing, and that's where I'm gonna put it at.
Can we see this?
Do you get
chart
into
someday?
Planet X Nibiru stuff?
To what?
Planet X Nibiru?
Yeah. Oh, dude. Yeah. Well, like the Anunnaki, like Anunnaki, whatever the
Yeah.
hell they are, like it's. Yeah, you know.
The special blood type. Yeah, I don't
Yeah,
know.
like,
RH negative blood type.
My mom is RH
Right.
negative blood type.
Right.
That means you are probably part Anunnaki.
No, I'm adopted.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
JK.
But yeah,
That's
the,
all right. I'm good.
You're safe at least.
Okay,
Yeah.
all right.
but yeah, start with the Anunnaki because they're or however the fuck you say their names, but they're like the first smart. Well, not the Sumerians were like the first technology smart civilization that like I think they invented math and all this shit, but their gods were these humans that came from the stars, and they have like this tablets that show 9 planets, and like so their gods came from the sky and then they created. But there's like books and shit. Like there's this New World Order from Reptilians book that like goes into detail about like everything.
And it's all about like the blood type and everything, which is
That's apparently how it's traced.
right. That's
yeah.
how that's
Oddly
their
enough,
thing. But it's like, yeah.
one of the reasons why I was adopted is back in the day, my mom's RH negative blood type.
Oh, I know what you're talking
And then,
about.
oh really? No one else knows this. And my dad's blood type.
The blood type thing, it doesn't work.
It's like the third child ends up deformed or something. So they
Yeah.
decided they wanted to adopt me, and they really wanted a girl. And so, but I wonder if it was something connected that they're like, no,
we don't want a reptilian child.
We don't want a reptilian child. Let's adopt
Reptilian.
one. And she'll be a weirdo, and we're conservative, but we'll love her anyway.
So yeah, I took a break for a while.
Yeah,
I know.
you can really alienate
Dude,
a
I
lot
was
of people from your
I was
life.
having some gnarly nightmares, and like I went too deep, and that's all I was doing was like just
Yeah.
research, and I'm
Yeah.
like, why am I doing this? I'm freaking myself out, and if it's true or if it's not, you can't do anything about it.
Yeah.
So just I kind of took a break. I'm gonna live my life, and here I am doing a podcast.
And we're talking, and now
Yeah.
you feel safe talking about this right now.
Scary shit, man.
It is. Though you scared me
Dude.
too, man. I was
Black
like,
eye kids, like.
All right,
oh,
nope.
yeah.
Nope.
Nope, that's where
No,
I have
no.
cameras, so you know that shit's creepy.
Stop, you're gonna call it.
Oh shit! Yeah, you're not
No.
supposed to call them because they'll
Oh,
come.
there's someone else. Yeah, the one that freaks me out is I call him MM. I don't want to say his full name.
Michael
I can-
Myers?
No, not worried about that at all. I'll mouth it to you guys.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, don't
Nope.
talk about him. That one scares the crap out of me.
I don't know what is this. I don't.
I don't. Take a break.
Okay.
I'm so.
Um,
I got chills.
I don't want to know this.
Nope.
That's the worst.
Don't want to know.
Another interdimensional being that will. It's just a harbinger of doom.
Yeah,
You
yeah.
don't want anything to do with
I don't
it.
want to know.
kind of circling back to the Sasquatch. Have you seen anything in the forest?
Oh,
Like what?
I mean, I spend a lot of time outside. I did have one time I was camping on Mingus Mountain. I think it was before I even lived here. Yeah, it was. It was a really weird night. My now husband and I were just playing like that stupid toss game with the balls and the string. There's like a ladder thing, and you throw the balls at it.
Yeah.
Whatever that's called.
Yeah.
We were playing that, and all of a sudden, it was still dusk. Like there was daylight, and we heard the most insane scream that turned into like a deep guttural growl, really drawn out and long. And we just stopped and froze. And then we heard another one, kind of on the opposite side of a canyon, doing the same thing. So there was a call and response, and we were frozen just listening. I should have grabbed my phone and recorded it, but I didn't. And this went on for so long
Really?
that finally I was like, let's just go back to playing the game. I don't know when the screaming's going to stop.
Oh well.
But that
I mean,
night,
that's a good way to
Yeah.
see it. Like,
I don't know what it is.
They don't
so
seem to
let's
mind
carry
we're
on.
playing this game.
Yeah, or we're
so-
not gonna leave, so they'll just have to
They're
deal with
probably
us being
calling
here.
each other like, "Hey, fresh meat."
Yeah.
Let's go get it.
Get out of our territory. I don't know. I spent a lot of time outside, and I've never heard an animal like that. But that night, 3 stray dogs wandered into our camp,
That's fucking weird.
and we ended
What kind
up.
of dogs?
They were all like cattle dogs. One of them looked like a little baby pit bull.
Okay.
And then 2 cattle dogs.
Huh.
It was really weird. I've never had that happen. I was
What'd they
totally
do?
freaked out.
Like all at the same time.
One at a time, they wandered in.
what
So I almost wonder if they got scared out of the woods by something, and they're like, "Well, there's fire and humans here, and we kind of know humans, so that's better than
So
whatever
just hang
monster
Maybe
is
they were
out there."
protecting you.
Maybe. They
Yeah.
stayed with us for the whole night, and I ended up taking them to the
Yeah.
Humane Society in the morning.
Oh,
I didn't
Damn.
know.
puppers.
I know,
That's fucking
sweet
weird.
babies.
That's scary. Do you have dogs? Or
I do,
animals?
yeah. I have 2 little Bostons, Ruby Tuesday and Runaround Sue. They're my sweet angels.
Kidding. For her. I have a little baby Barnabas. We talk about him often. And then you've met Gabby's.
I don't think she saw him. I have a Great Dane.
Oh,
an
no, I
8-year-old
definitely
and
did not
I'm
see
not
that
8-year-old.
dog.
8
He's
months
our
old.
boy, Blue.
And a boxer, little one. You'll be well acquainted after this. You'll make sure to sniff your butt.
That's how we get to know each other.
Well, so So going back to tattoos,
Yeah.
I don't even know. I don't even know. Like, I want to keep talking about all this creepy
Yeah.
shit. I don't know. Give
I
us
could do
more
that all
creep.
day.
Like, give us more creep. What else we got going on? So obviously it's influenced your artwork. Has that always been a constant theme for you?
No, it hasn't. I kind of had maybe an existential crisis of sorts when I came out here, and I just didn't know what direction to take my artwork. I'd kind of been the person. I've been tattooing almost 20 years. I was the person who could just do anything. Like, you want a black and gray sleeve? Sure. You want whatever, I'll do it. I can do it. Just kind of giving the people the tattoos that they wanted.
Right.
And I had an opportunity at the shop I'm at now to kind of focus my work and do what I want to do because we're busy enough.
Yeah.
And I did some serious searching and I was like, what really makes me happy? And it's always been the paranormal, aliens, ghosts, Sasquatch, all that stuff. I started reading books about that when I was really little. And I think I had some of my little friends' moms were like, you got to stop hanging out with that girl. She's really into ghosts and reading about seances and stuff. Like, no, that's not going to happen. But I've always loved it. I've always been obsessed. So
Wow.
yeah.
That's amazing. Yeah, because your style is unlike anything I've seen before. And it's refreshing as someone that likes to create things because oftentimes you do it for a very long time. You have these moments like, what is my style?
Yeah.
Because you're working. I take photos, and so a lot of times doing work for other people, and I'm in the middle of doing that. What really defines me as someone who likes to take photos, who's a photographer, and so it's can definitely be a journey evolving, right?
Oh, yeah.
That's wonderful.
It was time to do what I wanted to do,
That's
not
great.
just for other people. And it's working out. People are really receptive, and they like what I've been
Well,
doing.
you stopped
so.
me and Drea from walking. We're like, what is that? I think I saw it was a UFO, but it was abducting a hot dog. I was like,
yeah.
fuck yes. That like grabbed my attention out of all the drawings. I'm like, it's a hot dog being abducted.
I've never done it on anyone. You can have it.
The one that got me was the Randy Donuts one. Because that's the best fucking donut, hands down, in my opinion. Just take it or leave it. Randy's Donuts in Inglewood, California, dude.
Yeah.
Like, best donut ever. Fuck voodoo, like Randy's Donuts.
It was the first. Was that your first time
But
when
that
you went
was
on tour? When you went on tour for the Girl Gang tour? Was that your
no, I
first time?
had it before.
Yeah,
That's
that
why I
was
was like,
my
purposely,
first
we're
time.
my
going,
first
we're
time.
going to
Giant
Randy's.
So good. Randy's, it was amazing.
And they're open really late.
Yeah.
And they're in Mars Attacks.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
International
And,
Sign of the Donut.
And Iron Man too. He like chills on the donut. He's eating a donut.
Yeah.
It's great.
So,
But that was
and
the one
and
that
a
got me.
Simpsons episode,
Yes.
right? Yeah.
Yeah.
Bringing
And
it
Lard
back
Lad,
around.
too.
Yeah. So I really like about your tattoos, they do have a little bit of Sailor Jerry feel to it, but it's traditional. It's got a lot of hard lines, but you're doing bright colors as opposed to muted when you're doing some of the UFO Sasquatch things, and it's definitely just different, and it's great. So
I think I want my work to be more traditional, but I just can't stop from using really bright colors.
Right.
Yeah.
It just looks better that way.
I love that, though, because I love colors, but I love traditional Sailor Jerry. So you definitely got a new client in me.
Oh,
so
yeah.
I'm
And a new
fan of it.
friend.
Oh, that's great. So you movies, books. What things influence you? Let's talk about some other stuff. And maybe circle back around to
all
some of
gonna
the
go back
creepies.
to-
Oh yeah,
Music.
music.
That's what it's all about.
What kind of music are
Oh,
you into,
gosh.
right? Let's talk about. Let's talk about everything but our main objective.
I listen to, I definitely grew up listening to punk rock. My parents listened to a lot of Clash and a lot of reggae and ska when I was growing up. So I think I had a little bit different background than most kids. Like, my mom has a Stiff Little Fingers CD in her
Wait, they
collection,
listen
which
to
is
that?
pretty weird.
Hey,
Well, yeah.
They listen
Pretty
to that,
weird.
but they didn't want you to pursue art.
Yeah.
Oh,
the
no,
fuck?
I know. My life is just, a lot of inconsistencies. Very, very strange.
right.
My dad's an artist, and I think my mom
Okay.
saw him struggle and was like, don't do that. Just go get a real job.
Right.
But, yeah.
And nowadays, artists can find ways to make a living.
Yeah, it's really the only thing I've done. I worked at a record store and I worked at a thrift store and I was a waitress when I was in high school, but I haven't really done anything else.
Nice.
So,
Fuck yeah, dude.
Yeah,
Live that dream.
could be worse.
Yeah.
I have a comfortable life.
So your mom had stiff little fingers.
Yeah.
What else were you listening to growing up?
A lot rock and roll. Classic rock, of course. I got exposed to a lot. I think the only thing they really didn't listen to, my dad really hated country and new country. But my mom liked Patsy Cline, so I listened to a lot of that. Some of the older stuff. Gosh, what else did we listen to? Lots of new wave. I still love new wave. I'll
Fuck
never
yeah.
stop
I'm
loving
with you.
it.
I'm with you.
So much post-punk, I can't stop. I
Won't stop,
got a
won't
lot
stop.
of appreciation for country and old country. I listen to a lot of rockabilly.
Which
Stuff like
pause on that.
Yeah.
They closed the Far From Folsom bar in Prescott.
I know. I never even made it, sadly.
Oh well,
Ugh.
I actually got married up there a year and a couple weeks actually at Tis Art Gallery because it was small because we wanted it to go towards funding children's art classes. But Far From
cool.
Folsom is what we invited like everyone to come afterwards. So
Yeah.
it was a cool bar, but it got
It was
closed.
short-lived.
Yeah, super sad.
Yeah.
So I'm sorry you didn't get to go.
Yeah.
So what are you into now then? I mean, you just listed off a bunch of
I know,
foundations.
a little bit of everything.
Yeah.
What have I been listening to? I got really excited a little bit ago when I heard Fiddler. I think I was late to the game, and I kind of felt like I was too old to be listening to it. So they're talking about like skipping school and skateboarding and smoking weed, but I was like, oh, I kind of like it.
We played with them at Punk Rock Bowling. They're really good.
Oh, that's
Yeah,
awesome.
yeah.
Nice.
It does feel weird
I have a
listening
feeling
to
they're
them.
my age, maybe. Maybe they're young. I have no idea. I haven't seen them. That got me excited. Listening to some beach goth lately.
Wait, beach goth.
The whole
You had me at
genre.
goth. What? What is beach goth?
I honestly
goths go
don't
to
know
the
a
beach?
ton about it, except it's a genre I found on like Spotify or Pandora, and it kind of has that like skate punk feel to it. I don't really even know why it's called beach goth.
Is it kind of like the Mummies, or
Yeah,
but that's
like-
kinda, is that more garage? That's more garage.
Yeah, it's kind of garagey, kind of
Okay.
fuzzy.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, do you have a track or band you want to play so we can listen?
Oh gosh,
to it?
I don't know.
That's okay.
Yeah.
We can move on.
I kind of listen to it when I work, so I'm never really looking at like
Right.
who is playing,
There is a
and
playlist.
it's just on, and I
Yeah,
can't take
I
myself
hear
away.
you.
Alright, Gabby found it.
So Beach God has the Growlers. Okay,
Yeah.
and then the Frights. Tomorrow.
Tijuana Panthers. I like them, and that's a cute name.
The Growlers.
Right?
That goes.
It's a great juxtaposition.
I think the Growlers are the only ones I
Amazing.
know. That's weird. All right.
That's very cool.
goth.
Beach goth.
Yeah.
I thought it was just a thing that my friends and myself did when we went to the beach.
Right.
Yeah, right. I just was like, I don't know. I mean, it's weird that I'm wearing a purple shirt right now. Like, it's so weird because I'm always in black. So.
One day you're gonna bring that lunchbox.
Yeah.
in.
Yeah.
Where's that metal lunchbox
Yeah.
purse, dude?
I don't know if you heard
Did
the
you have one?
Did you
I
have
heard
one?
about it.
I'm
I had a
telling
Nightmare
you.
Before Christmas one.
See?
Yeah.
See?
Maybe two.
Yeah,
I think I still have them.
Yeah. I did. Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah, Miss Kitty has your back.
Oh, man.
That's great.
Did you rock Jinkos, or was that?
Oh yeah, I
Did you?
I did.
No.
I did have some.
No, I
good.
couldn't do it.
I had some-
I think
How
that
about you?
was At middle school, okay. One pair. That was it.
Did you do the wallet chain?
Oh, I did the wallet
Yeah?
chain.
With the balls or with the actual chain?
The chains.
chain.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. Did you do the balls? She
Yeah.
had balls to do the balls. Oh, embarrassing. Gabby, I know you're a little late to the game with us, but what kind of, you got to share some embarrassing trends or fads that you maybe rocked when you were younger.
Well, we grew up pretty poor, so we couldn't really afford the trendy shit.
Sorry.
But yeah, I know. Sad.
But maybe that's a good thing.
I don't know. I had a weird mix because the whole not knowing English and kind of
Yeah.
weird culture. I was kind of like a tomboy half the time, and then middle school, high school, I went totally preppy.
Interesting.
Yeah, it was
Wow.
fucking weird. It was a
I
weird
would
time.
pay money to see
It was a
preppy Gabby.
weird time, but I was preppy with fucking spiked up hair. So
You were making a statement.
dude. Yeah. So about like
preppy, but you like to party.
sophomore, freshman year, I just fucking fucked this shit, and then I just dyed my hair, spiked it more, and
Played that
punk rock since then, man.
Yeah.
I was the only kid in high school wearing tux and fucking 2 belts. But yeah, it was a weird time. It was a weird time back in my
a time to be alive.
It was. But I remember rocking those little ball chain necklaces.
Yeah.
Those were
Thank
cool.
you,
Those were
Gabby.
cool. Like, do you guys remember the bike chains, bracelets?
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember those. It was weird.
Did you wear dog colors?
Yeah.
Yeah? Okay.
Yeah, I would just go to like the dollar store and
Yeah,
get like a
right.
dog collar or like a choke chain
I
and
was-
put it on my neck with safety
Were
pins.
your parents cool with it?
They did not like it.
Yeah, my
but-
parents were cool, so I had to hide them.
Yeah.
I had to hide them.
in your lunchbox.
Took it to school.
No, she knew what was in that. Did you customize your lunchbox purse too? Did you put stuff on the inside flap like
I
pictures?
think so. Some
Collaging,
stickers.
you
Yeah.
know?
Pictures of my friends that I would still see every day.
Right, right.
I feel like I need a lunchbox now.
Yeah,
I'm
bring 'em
getting
back.
you. I'm getting you bitches some lunchboxes. It's happening.
I have lunchbox. Like,
See, I would actually use it for lunch though.
That's, you can't. It's a different thing.
I take my lunch every day to work,
It's
so
a different thing. All right. Well,
Oh, do we want to do a music break?
yeah. Let's do a music break.
Okay. Why don't we have you pick a
Oh
song?
God, I was gonna pick the Rosillos Flying Saucer,
Oh,
but you already played the same song by a different band, so
best friends.
Gosh, I guess I'm a huge Misfits fan, so maybe Hybrid Moments or Teenagers from Mars are relevant.
Okay. Let's do Teenagers from Mars since we're talking about UFOs.
Yeah.
All right. This is the Misfits with Teenagers from Mars right here on the Sound Sister Podcast.
Because like all the alien shit, we never get to talk about this shit. Or
Yeah,
how do we
no.
put all that shit into an episode? It's
Yeah.
you can't just randomly be like,
Oh,
"What
let's talk
is
about
it,
aliens
people?"
right now.
Right? You know. So, but some of the previous episodes, I don't know if you the one I went camping recently. The fucking
Yeah.
screams.
Yeah.
Fucking it, man.
That sounds
I was talking to Allison from It's Embarrassing last night, actually, about that episode, and Yeah, we're back. We're just cutting it.
Okay. It's not bad. I just fucked it up.
She was saying that they were thinking it was like maybe like dead Navajo spirits screaming. Because where you were up up in northern
Dude, it was
or Utah and then
terrifying.
Oh, what about the Skinwalker?
They said the ranch up there or something. It's somewhere up there. The Skinwalker Ranch.
Eastern Utah.
Is it?
Yeah.
Eastern Utah? I was in Utah.
in the
I
Four
was,
Corners,
on Lake Powell, like right up there. I was in Utah.
Yeah.
Maybe because I couldn't find those screams. I tried YouTubing them.
Yeah.
Was it Fox?
That's what my dude says, but it's like it was like 13, 20 like women screaming, fucking terrifying. It was.
Wow.
Apparently, I was the only one that heard it.
Oh God, that's even worse.
Maybe it was a cult in the woods that you don't know about.
a coven.
It was no woods.
Yeah.
But whatever it was, it's still terrifying.
To this day.
Yeah, see, I love all this shit, but it fucking terrifies me because there's
Oh, yeah.
nothing you can do about it.
No, how do you fight the supernatural?
You can't, and it's just
Yeah.
bend over, man.
Yeah.
You're fucked.
So you, as an artist, even though something scares you, you cope by making art out of that.
Yeah, I think that might have been where my fascination with like the paranormal and especially aliens came from. I distinctly remember seeing a copy of Communion. I think that's Erich von Daniken too. I think that's his big book on my dad's nightstand when I was growing up. And my parents told me this really terrible story that they made up about these creatures called the Nookums, who, when children play by the water, and since I grew up in Minnesota, there's water everywhere. When children play by the water without their parents, the Nookums come in and they drown children. And all you see is their glowing red eyes, and you hear the flute, and then you're in a watery grave. Thanks, Mom and Dad. But I think I took the idea of the Nookum and the face of the cover of Communion, a gray alien, and combined them together. And then I was convinced they were everywhere. Not just by water.
Thanks, parents.
But that also, what is that other lore that the Hispanic
Llorona?
Llorona.
When I was taking a children's literature class, we were talking about how many times the theme of that story translates to different cultures. So there's like you said, one from Mexico, but there's other countries that just have their own version, but it's still the same.
Ours is still
similar
terrifying.
thing,
Yeah.
right?
Well, same with aliens too. I studied. That's one of the things that fascinates me about all this too, is the folklore aspect and the cross-cultural aspects of Sasquatch and aliens and the Ojibwe. I studied Ojibwe and I speak the language, but they believe in a Sasquatch type creature of the forest called the Meme-Gwechi. And it's at a different level from human or mammal. It's just it's kind of this. It's outside of the realm. It's a supernatural being, and there's no joking. They're not like, oh, funny, the Sasquatch. Like it's real. Like you respect it. And the same thing with they have a folklore hero. His name is Wayne Abuju. And at one point in the story, he just casually gets into a giant circular seed pod and crosses through the 4 levels of the sky.
Huh.
And when I read that, I just got chills. Like,
Right.
so he went to space? Like,
Right.
yeah.
Well, that's kind of the thing with like all religions. It all comes the sky. They all come from the sky.
Yeah.
And it's like all religions. But
Yeah.
it's crazy.
Well, and going back to some of the time travel theories, Mandela effect, that shit had me flipped out because Berenstein Bears, okay?
Right.
There's so many things that I distinctly remember that are different, and then you look it up, it's not, and it's crazy that there's groups of people that feel the same way. And it was so funny because Rico and I last night, we were talking about, I got some nutty bars, and I was like, okay, cool, and I'm like, they're actually on the box called Nutty Buddies. A Mandela effect. So I was like freaked out for 5 minutes. Looked up on YouTube, tried finding some video evidence. Of course, it was like some stoner that was drunk talking about it. I'm like, okay, obviously, like whatever. And then I Googled some more and it was just a name change. But But sometimes the shit happens.
Oh yeah.
But another thing, every time I hear about Sasquatch, I always think about Tenacious D. Are you guys fans of Tenacious D?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So
Kick of Destiny.
yeah. Well, back in the day before then, they used to do an HBO special, and they had a couple of different episodes or songs dedicated to Sasquatch.
Oh, wow.
And they had their buddy like dress up as Sasquatch, and the way that they, yeah, it's great. You should look it up. Maybe we'll include a clip on it in our episode. But it's pretty killer. But the way they did it, it wasn't just making fun because it was an obvious theme that they included in their music at different times of their journey, and so I bet you they're believers.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. Well, speaking of like the YouTube stuff, have you gone down YouTube holes with Sasquatch videos? Because I subscribe to a couple on there, and I'm pretty sure, like, I'm convinced.
That's what you saw.
Well, one of them, his name's Desert Sasquatch, and he's up in the Nevada area.
Okay.
His videos seem very convincing what he's finding out there. He's gotten a couple screams on tape. I think from going into like areas they didn't want him to go into, and so they scream, and he was like, "Okay, I'm getting the fuck out of here." But he'll do like gifting areas with them, and he'll leave them like marbles and
apples. I've heard
stuff like that,
apples.
and shit will be moved when he goes back. So I don't know.
Like sticks being positioned.
The stick formations
I've
that they
seen
use out there.
Way too many videos on the stick formation, which that's something when I hike, I kind of joke about it. Like, what could it be?
Yeah.
It could only be a Sasquatch, and maybe just a tree fell. But
or maybe it's like a lost kid in the forest.
that's terrible. Trying to leave a sign.
That's what I did.
Leaving a kid, huh?
He's one of the 411 missing kids.
I got lost in the forest.
See, it all ties down together.
You know?
Yeah.
And
411 missing
I learned
kids,
in Girl
Sasquatch.
Scouts if you get lost. That's right, Girl Scouts, many years. All right, you leave like arrows and stuff just to make sure you don't get lost.
yeah.
You know, so,
Oh no, these
but-
are like complicated.
Yeah,
fucking-
okay.
Very complex formation,
Stop.
dude. It's
Stick
just not some
yeah.
little kid being like, "Here's 2 sticks." No, man, they're
it's like
well
a
thought
yeah.
out
structures
shit on
of-
it.
Like
Well,
Jenga
yeah.
structures.
Yeah,
Right.
very
It's
well
weird.
put together.
and like up in branches.
Yeah.
and like things you can't reach. Yeah, we've gone down that.
So do you go down the YouTube holes too? You
Oh,
watch
yeah,
videos?
absolutely.
I haven't done it in maybe 3 months, so I'm looking forward to the new footage of a lot of things.
Yeah.
You know, so
You're holding out.
yeah. I mean,
Yeah.
there's been a lot of celebrity deaths. So let's see what the theories on those are. So maybe next episode I'll go down that rabbit hole.
Yeah.
Lately, it's been podcasts for me though, because I don't have a lot of time to sit around and watch stuff. I used to watch a lot more YouTube videos, but it's less of that nowadays.
What are your favorite podcasts right now?
Oh, Well, I've been listening to you guys, honestly, like no joke, and I love it. Yeah,
nice.
I feel like we're friends. I'm kind of obsessed with the Desert Oracle too. I don't know if you guys know anything about
What's
that.
that one
It's
about?
some guy who broadcasts out of Joshua Tree, and he kind of just tells crazy stories about the desert. And it's great. He talks about aliens, he talks about skinwalkers and shapeshifters and all the good stuff. So, but then he also throws in some like biology and ecology and like very like tangible, real stuff. That's still interesting.
Right.
But that's my Friday night special.
Nice.
Do you work like a crazy shift driving from Prescott? Like how many days a week are you at the shop?
I do 410s. And then I'm like commuting 3 hours a day. So those days, that's pretty much all I'm doing is just working and driving and sleeping.
Wow,
Damn.
that's crazy.
It is.
So talking about tattoos, what's the weirdest one you've done, or the worst?
I feel like the weirdest is like harder and harder to quantify because I just do super weird stuff all the
Right.
time, and I love that. I did a Betty Boop on roller skates once on a lady, and she wanted it huge, and she wanted it to have a word bubble that said, "Roll on, bitches, that's the business, holla back." And this is where I don't even really know what that means.
Did you do it?
Oh yeah.
Holy boo. You made my fucking day. Damn.
Where did you get a tattoo?
On her lower back, of course.
Wow. That is a memorable stamp. That's a memorable stamp.
Wow.
Shit.
Please tell me there's a picture of this.
Oh, I'd have to go through actual photographs, maybe somewhere.
Was she at least happy with the work afterwards?
She was.
Okay.
I don't think she anticipated how bad it was going to hurt, though, so she was pretty sad.
Do you get a lot of people like that come in and you have to, or are you pretty good at just explaining the consultation, I'm sure?
And I used to go more for marathon sessions, and now I try not to. I'm like, no one really wants to get tattooed for more than 4 hours. Right. So if you're local, there's no reason. Don't torture yourself. Like, let's break it apart. That's fine. No one needs to be a tough guy. I don't care. You're not going to impress me.
Speaking of, I have this one right here. Do you think it's fixable? This TCB?
Oh, yeah.
Can we fix it?
Totally.
Are you wanting to still have it that way, or
you can do if we can fix it, make it look better, and still say TCB?
Oh yeah,
that'd be ideal. But you can tell, like,
because she's still TCB.
I mean, I got it in Memphis after going to like Graceland or whatever, and I was like, all right, I'm gonna get it, and then sometimes that's just the gamble you take with.
Right. It's not that bad.
You're nice.
I mean,
I have a hairy armpitted Betty Page on my leg, so yours is fine.
What?
The shading went weird, man. Oh, my first tattoo.
Man. Okay.
All right. Now that we're
Is it the armpit V thing that they tried to do?
Yeah, it's like
she
just said, "Oh, here you go, ladies."
Yeah. I mean, I'm familiar with that era of tattooing. Like,
yeah.
All right, man. Is that fixable?
I think there's hope for anything. Right. Yeah.
So she's positive.
Yeah, I don't know if we could do something to it.
Even just putting that black back in there and maybe re-outlining the letters, that would make them jump out a little bit.
Okay.
So
we can rebuild.
We can rebuild. I feel that a lot of our listeners, they have experience getting tattoos, but we don't want to assume. So maybe let's hear some helpful tips for new peeps that are wanting to get some new ink.
Sure. I guess from the design standpoint, like, come in with some concepts. Nouns are helpful. Adjectives are bad. Feelings, like, you don't need to tell me things like that. Give me nouns that describe what you're looking for. Pictures are great. If you're coming in for a consultation and you don't have an idea, bring me visual references. This is a visual medium. So something that's going to help me get the feel that you're going for. Walk-ins happen when they can, but appointments are always better. So don't try to do anything last minute. Don't try to rush the process. Don't try to pull the I need this today or it'll never happen. Like, plan. It's forever. So it's okay to wait for that process to happen and get the result that you need. And then when it comes to the day of or the night before, get a good night rest. Drink a lot of water. Don't be hungover when you come in. Want to arrive a little bit early? Be clean.
Deodorant's not
good
optional
for Miss Kitty.
Take a shower.
Snacks.
And a little note from Sasquatch.
Oh, yes. And a message from the Greys.
Have you ever had to tattoo a weird human body spot that you were uncomfortable with?
I don't like tattooing feet that smell like sour milk.
Oh.
That is very descriptive, so that must have happened. Poor Miss Kitty. I feel so bad for you.
Just gotta hose them down with alcohol.
She's like, meow.
Sad meow.
I did. You did it!
With that note.
On that note.
Do you have any Angela?
Oh, yeah, I got that one in there.
Once every episode.
Burrito. No burritos. Don't ask Miss Kitty what her favorite burrito is. I know you're going to. Go to do it.
What's your favorite burrito? What burrito
thought about
defines
this in
you?
preparation. Well, I'm vegan, so certainly no dairy, no crema, no queso. And my husband is celiac, so we've been doing gluten-free. So my burrito is really boring. And it's probably made of a potato tortilla and has veggies in it and beans.
I love
delicious.
potatoes. Yeah, it sounds awesome.
Yeah.
I mean, there's no bad burrito in my book.
Lots of guac, so much guac.
Oh yeah.
Guac is life.
Yes.
So, okay, so is there any tattoo that you turned away? You're like, I just can't.
Absolutely not. Will not do it.
I don't tattoo
at 'em.
any Jennies.
That's good. That's a good rule of thumb.
Yeah, I just don't want to. I don't want to touch your junk. I don't have
Okay.
to.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
Fair enough.
That's reasonable.
Yeah. I mean, everybody has their price, but
So how many
far,
of
no.
those do you get requests?
I think less than
Okay.
maybe some other female artists. I don't know.
Okay.
Fortunately, that's great. Now I'll probably get a bunch of them.
Has there been a design where they came in and you were like, nope, not gonna do it?
Yeah, for sure. I mean,
Yeah.
people think they're funny sometimes, or I don't know, maybe they're just really terrible people. People on something like racist, or
Yeah.
You know, I'm not going to do that.
Yeah, no.
I'm not supporting that. I don't like to tattoo faces. I have tattooed faces. I'll tattoo fingers and necks, which pushes the limit of what I'm comfortable with, just in terms of, like, I'm responsible for changing someone's life drastically at that point.
Right.
And I feel like that comes back on me on a certain level. So I don't want to just willy-nilly tattoo people in really, really obvious places. Faces are kind of one of those where I'm like, nah, you just don't need to do that.
Right.
So you won't do my pizza slice teardrop.
That's genius.
Right? Little pizza.
Brilliant.
If I ever move
Gabby.
to LA,
Someday.
getting my
Someday.
pizza teardrop.
So, do you have any wild tattoo stories that you want to share, or any?
Oh, I don't know if I should.
Big
this is the
names
show
that you
to do it.
tattooed, or
It's a
I
safe
mean,
space you can share.
we got 5 listeners. That's cool. I paid them all.
I did tattoo a woman's lower back once who apparently forgot to take her restless leg syndrome medicine that day and was kicking wildly from side to side. It kind of reminded me, now that I've seen the new It movie, from like the dance that the clown does with his legs from side to side.
She was ahead of her time.
Oh my gosh.
It was a premonition. And she was also making noises like a wild animal.
And you tattooed.
I felt like I had to, and I also just wanted it to end, and I knew if I made her come back, then it would just be a repeat of the same thing.
Oh, right.
So I did every, like, please stop moving as nicely as possible, like, over and over and over again, to the point where I was like, I don't want what you have. I'm going to accidentally stab myself.
Right.
Stop moving. It was a long time ago. I think at this point now I'd just be like, we're done.
Yeah,
so
go take your
you
medicine.
can come back another day. But
Right.
like 15 years ago, I think I might have been a little bit more hard up.
You were a different kitty back
I
then.
was. Learned a lot. I've learned that I can have self-respect and respect my boundaries. And if people aren't jiving, I can just say, get out.
Right.
So, yeah.
Boss babe,
love.
dude.
I love it.
Boss babe. Boss kitty meow meow.
Don't fuck meow. Zero meows.
Zero meows given right now.
I'm gonna
Thank
use
you for
that.
going on that meow journey with me.
You're welcome.
So good.
You hear this all the time on the episodes, so now you actually get to see the ridiculousness. Not staged.
Let's talk about being a female in a male industry. Obviously, being in a band, you know, we deal with sexism. Shocking, right?
Right.
What is it like coming up and just learning and growing from all of that?
Well, I think it's changed. It's changed a lot from when I started. The industry has come a long way. I can thankfully say we've made progress. But yeah, when I started, almost 20 years ago, there were 2 women that I knew of who tattooed in Minnesota, and I didn't personally know them. Right. I still don't know them. So I didn't really have any role models to look up to. I think there's been an instance or an incident at almost every place I've worked, even with my employers and my peers, that has been blatantly sexist or offensive. I've had people say things like, wow, you did that? That looks like a boy tattoo.
Whoa.
How is that even? I can't. Like, I just.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It's familiar.
Yeah. Backhanded comments.
Backhanded, yeah.
absolutely, all the time. And I think it still happens and people don't even realize that they're doing it. You know, I've asked people for recommendations like, hey, where do you see my work going? What direction? And they'll only recommend other women artists. Like, oh, I see. It's 2 classes of artists. There's men and there's women, and we're apparently different.
Fuck that.
Yeah. It's like, aren't we all just doing the same thing? My genitals don't dictate how I do my work.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
Damn.
Gotta be kidding me.
My
Right now.
drop, man. My genitals. That should be a bumper sticker.
No,
right there.
I mean, that's one of the things we say too in the band is like, hey, my gender shouldn't define my music. It's just music. We're a punk band. We're not a girl band. Just call us a punk band.
Yeah.
Call us a
I'm
band.
not a female artist. I'm just an artist.
Yeah.
We're artists.
Yeah.
Musicians, artists.
Yeah. I mean, that's
I'm waiting for it. I'm like, come
I'm
on.
waiting for
come
intro
on.
to go on.
I know you got something,
I don't
dude.
know. It's just my fingers start going off and stuff. I just can't. It's.
I definitely get mistaken for counterhelp still. You know, I think it's all the time.
No, you didn't.
Or, you know, who are you sleeping with to get this job is definitely something that's come up. I think my accomplishments and my
heard
time
that
in the
too.
industry is discredited.
Yeah. I mean, it's hard because for me it was mostly because my husband's a musician. People automatically think, oh, well, you're getting to do X, Y. Not saying that they haven't given me opportunities, but little do they know, I helped book a lot of their shit when they were first starting out.
Yeah.
I was like the person to help promoting them and help directing things, and people just assume that I'm around because I'm like with the band, and it's like, no, I've been doing this and photographing and documenting for years before I even met my husband. Not saying that they hasn't helped and support whatever, but it does get frustrating, so it's very one-sided, I feel.
Yeah.
Do you feel like is it gotten better as the years have gone by?
Yeah.
Yeah?
I think it has. There's a lot more women tattooing now.
Yeah,
just
well,
as
look
a
at the
whole,
Hell
so
City. There was
that's great.
It was 50-50.
There
was
was
a
a lot of
males,
female
females.
artists.
Yeah.
It takes
I
a-
think they really turned that around this past year too, from what I've noticed. I think I worked that convention 3 years in a row, and this last year there were some major changes, and
Yeah, and
I
all female
appreciated that.
artists too,
He-
like
yeah.
bands.
He purposely told me, he's like, I purposely booked all female bands this year.
Yeah.
Or had females in the band, and I was like, that's fucking awesome, dude. I appreciate that. So,
Giving people a chance. Yeah.
what are your thoughts on Kat Von D?
You know, she's a self-made woman. I'm
Right.
not gonna knock her. She built an empire.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
that's awesome. I don't like when people are like, "Oh, cat." Like we
Yeah.
have nothing.
You have black hair and you like and your winged eyeliners on
Right.
point,
Yeah,
so
we're
you
the
must be
same
Kat Von
person.
D,
Cat.
right?
Cat, I'm a
Both
kitty.
cats.
It's kind of an unfortunate situation to have the same name as a really famous tattoo artist.
How did your name come about, if you don't mind, Miss Kitty?
Oh, just gosh, I don't even know. I think it was just a joke. Someone that I worked with was like, "Oh, Cat, Miss Kitty," and it just kind of stuck. Yeah.
The best kind of names do that. I'm still trying to forget some of mine.
Do you watch Ink Master or anything like that?
I have never watched Ink Master.
Okay.
No, I don't
Okay.
watch a lot of TV.
Do you get clients that come in and they're like, well, I saw it on Ink Master.
Oh, yeah.
You should do it this way. And you're like, whoa, don't tell me how to do my job, bro. Does it happen?
Almost every day.
Yeah.
Sometimes I look around like, wait, like there's a montage going on or something, like cue the sappy music. Why am I getting this life story from someone about their tattoo? That happens.
Because everyone feels that they need to
The
give you
therapist.
the entire story.
Yeah.
So it brings up a great point. So
Yeah.
when you're tattooing someone, do you prefer them to be absolutely quiet or?
Oh, no, I'm probably the worst. I think my coworkers probably hate me. I love talking to people. I'm kind of an introvert, and I don't socialize much outside of work, so I think that is my outlet.
Okay.
We are friends.
Yeah.
But when I'm at work, I want to talk to people. And I try to, definitely get people to talk about spooky stuff and paranormal. If I can steer the conversation that way, I definitely do. But yeah, I think I annoy everyone around me, like talking real loud and laughing all day.
Cool. Yeah, I just try to give the artists their time to focus and concentrate. So I just like,
And
I
are you
take
cool
it,
with that
you know.
too,
Yeah,
too,
if somebody
they're
wants to
quiet?
be totally quiet or put their headphones on, that's fine too. Yeah.
So how about you? I hear tattooers are the worst to get tattooed.
Yeah, I'm a
Is that-
giant baby.
Yeah.
I have an appointment on Friday, and I've been dreading it for like the weeks in approaching. But yeah, I feel like there's a disconnect between what I want to say and contribute to the conversation when I'm in pain and what comes out of my mouth or what even can. And most of the time I just kind of end up shutting down and I can't
You just
do
draw it
anything
for
but
them, like,
coping.
here,
Yeah, I'm
tattoo
like
this.
just, I don't know.
Who are you getting tattooed by?
Oh, my friend Polsky. He used to work at Golden Rule.
Polsky. Sorry, I just
Yeah.
had to say his name.
What are you getting?
I'm gonna fill in these flying saucers on my arm, and I have I'll show you. I have a little robot with my 138.
awesome.
Oh,
That's
the Misfits
killer.
in there. So he didn't start it, but he's graciously going to finish it for me.
Oh,
yeah.
that spot is that was my.
I know.
It was worse than the top of my feet.
I'm not looking forward to it.
Just get it all.
Just get it over with, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, this one was gnarly.
Do you do the Friday the 13th tattoos?
I have.
Do people come in
It's
like,
not
let's
bad.
leave this out, bruh?
I want to get 2013s now. I think we limit one per customer. I did one last year. I think I did like 30 or 40 tattoos that day.
Holy shit.
And the only way I can
Damn.
describe how I felt the next day is as though I had been poisoned. I remember trying to stand up and I felt like, I don't know, like poison was coursing through my
Oh,
veins.
man.
It felt so terrible. I could hardly walk. I was just so beat up. And I had a ton of vegan macaroons that day, so that might have had something to do with it. I might have actually poisoned myself with sugar. But I always work on Saturday, so it's hard for me.
Yeah.
Saturday's a rough day after Friday the 13th.
Yeah.
Do you have any like music inspired tattoos that you want to talk about? Do you get too many of those requests?
I wish I got more requests.
Right.
Yeah, music is definitely a huge part of my life. I have my 138 subtle nod to the Misfits on the robot there. Gosh, I don't know if I have any others. I don't know. I have a lot of cryptids tattooed on me too, so that's kind of the theme I'm going with.
Cool.
Nice.
Oh, let's talk about Simpsons. Yeah. Favorite episode?
Oh, I love the lemon tree episode.
And for the listeners, let's talk about that episode. What happens?
So it's the Shelbyville versus Springfield episode, and there's the lemon tree, and I believe Shelbyville steals the lemon tree from Springfield, and then there's this whole reconnaissance mission to bring the tree back, and they go into the like lore of the lemon tree, and then I think at the end of it, like Springfield gets their lemon tree back, and Shelbyville has like beets, and they're making beet juice. Oh, I mean, the X-Files one is great too. I do love the one where Mr. Burns is on drugs and ends up making an appearance like an alien in the forest, and Mulder and
So
Scully
talking
are in
about
it.
Simpsons and like conspiracies, there's a lot about the Simpsons like future telling of events and shit happens, like the Trump thing, like exactly him going down the stairs and like the flyer dropping and the same shit happens. Like,
Wasn't it 9/11? There was something about that too,
there's a
right?
lot of shit that's happened in the Simpsons, and it's another rabbit hole you can go down.
Have you gone down that one?
I've heard about,
Oh,
or I think I've maybe even seen it because I watch a lot of the old episodes.
Okay,
I saw
yeah.
the Trump one, and then I saw the 9/11 one too.
Right, it's
There's a
fucking
few
weird.
of the 9/11 prophecies
There's
and some
a
other
lot.
things. I know there was somebody's a Batman fan. There's a Batman comic. Do you have you seen that little clip of in the Batman comic of it's the Twin Towers smoking?
Right.
What?
There's other shows too. Like there's another TV show that talks about 9/11 too, and it's before 9/11. Like there's this whole other conspiracy shit about.
Well, I've read some.
That's another thing about the New World Order. Like they try to like with TV kind of tell you what's going to happen in the future. So they put lots of weird different
little
things,
Easter eggs.
little things.
Yeah.
And like for like the 9/11, like the Simpsons, there's like 3 other TV shows that would mention it, and like the Batman one too,
Yeah.
like that it was on smokes. It's fucking crazy, man. It's so it's
Illuminati.
Right.
Illuminati.
No,
I'm
yeah,
losing my Illuminati. I don't know what's happening.
Man, you know.
Dang, that's some stuff.
Yeah, I love The Simpsons though. I grew up with that shit too.
Oh yeah.
Do you do a lot of traveling, like outside of? Well, absolutely from Prescott to
day-to-day.
here. You're all that's my life. But I mean, do you go to different conventions outside the state? Do you take your work?
Yeah, I've been doing a lot more of that since I moved to Arizona. That kind of opened up for me. I think I just had the confidence once I moved across the country and started working at other shops to do more of that. I occasionally work in Jerome. They're kind enough to let me have a little station up there. And I go back to Minnesota. I'm going to be back there for like a month tattooing at the end of October. I work at the Rose and No Man's Land out there. And I was out in LA last year. I did a convention in Albuquerque. I just went to Area 51 and camped outside of Area 51.
How was that?
What?
What?
Freaking awesome. Yeah.
What did you see?
Yeah, what happened?
I didn't see anything in the sky,
Okay.
unfortunately, but I did get harassed by Area 51 security all night long.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, you're right outside the military
Yeah.
base.
Yeah, right.
So I don't know why.
It wasn't like it was totally just a harassment technique. They just wanted us to move along, for sure.
Right.
They didn't like threaten us. They didn't get close. They also didn't introduce themselves, you know, or
what were
like,
they
hey
doing?
kids, move along. It was really weird. So we found our spot, and right away, to my right and my left, I could see like the glint because the sun's going down of like, you know, light reflecting off of metal. So it was like, there's a truck there and there's a truck over there.
Yeah.
They're doing
And
the
then
silent treatment.
oh yeah, as soon as the sun went down, a truck came down the dirt road, and then we were camping off of the main road, drove down towards us with its lights off. And then when it got to be about 100 yards away, right at us with, you know, like military grade
Right.
lumens, and just sat there with the brights on. And I have a few videos of it where I'm just standing there like, okay, like here I am. I'm just holding my two tiny, very innocent sweet Boston Terriers and eating a sandwich. Like,
How far were you
what's
from
up?
the base? Were you like
Less than a
close?
mile. We were pretty close.
Oh.
Yeah.
Well,
I wanted to get as close as I
Well,
could. That was
what do you
illegal.
expect?
It's public land, though. Anybody can be out there, technically, you know.
right.
Yeah, they'd bright us and then really slowly back away and then drive off. And they did that every hour and a half.
Really?
All night long.
What?
That's shit.
I've seen YouTube videos where they're like
Yeah.
chase you out.
Yeah.
By car.
I didn't cross the gates.
Okay.
They followed us out. We went to the gates and then turned around and they followed us.
Yeah.
And then they drove off. But
Well, it's like, imagine how many people try to do that shit, you know? They're probably
Yeah.
fucking sick and tired of UFO people.
Oh, I'm
like,
sure.
Every 10 minutes, fucking, ooh.
we didn't
Jump
see
over
anybody
there.
else out there, though, that wasn't
Really?
security in their unmarked cars.
They do. It is something. That's one hole that I have yet to gone down because it scares me.
say they
so
walk
I
much.
can
among
tell
us.
you're getting like
They walk among us.
right now. Look, your eyes right now. You're like, fuck.
The biggest theory is that they walk among us. And, like, it
Yeah.
goes back to dimensions. It could be that they're future us, or they could be...
Are you trying to give me information, Gabby, to protect myself?
Another rabbit hole you can go down is the type of aliens that live among us.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, it's...
I'm never gonna sleep ever.
There's a hilarious illustration that I saw of the alien types when I was in Roswell at the UFO museum there, which you should definitely
Yeah, I've
check
been
out.
there.
At
Yeah.
first, I thought you were gonna say musical.
Oh,
I was like, that'd be
that would be
amazing.
great. No, someone should do that.
Do you want to do that? Let's get on this.
Write the music.
You guys can write the music.
I've written a screenplay. Let's do this.
that could
I've written
totally
a play
happen.
before. So much genius out of this episode. Oh man.
Yeah, that's why I don't go out.
Well, thankfully, you know, you were
Thankfully I
let
went out.
out
I was
last
let
night.
out
Oh
last
my
night.
gosh, I can't even. I don't know what else to go
On
from
that.
Did any of you guys see the Phoenix Lights?
I moved here that year from Mexico.
Okay.
So I was like 4 months after it happened.
Yeah, I was a little kid, so
I was
I
little,
just
yeah, I
remember
didn't
seeing
see
it on
that,
TV after.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No.
So.
Dang.
But wasn't there something that happened a couple of like a year or so ago to some other lights that were recent? I want to say that happened here in California. Too.
It wasn't
Was
years
it the
ago. There was
SpaceX
recently.
launch?
Oh, well, that's a different one.
Yeah,
Yeah, but
but
there was
a lot of
another-
people thought that was a UFO and totally freaked out, and it wasn't.
Actually,
Yeah.
There's a picture.
See, I'm still thinking it was, and I haven't.
Well, see, there's a picture from like the 30s or 40s with that same exact logo launch thing, and it's like, dude, there's no fucking rockets back then.
Yeah.
So that was a lot of
Ooh.
people were putting both of them together, like,
Yeah.
Yeah, you never seen that?
No.
Shit, man, I gotta
You gotta show it to me.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's
it's
weird.
the same
Yeah, but-
fucking thing,
but-
same shape. button, everything.
Oh well, that's
Yeah.
because I would even devil's advocate. You can do different stuff in the dark room back then, and people
Sure.
did.
Right.
They kept selling a lot of bum photos of like ghost like things.
Right,
because
but
of
no,
just-
this
Oh,
is-
I love those.
Yeah, I do
love
too.
those faked ghost
I do
photos.
too.
And all the
I do too.
ectoplasm. It's so great.
Yeah. So I've tried
I don't know what
doing
we
it.
were talking about before I. Oh, the lights.
Sorry.
The
The lights.
alien lights. Yeah.
Lights, yeah.
Yeah.
Light.
I don't know. I think I know what you're talking about, but I don't remember when it was.
Okay.
That's not helpful at all.
No.
Okay. Cool.
Oh, you know
Alright.
what? No, I do know what you're talking about. A few people sent me an article about that. I didn't see
California
anything.
or something. Like,
Yeah.
there's a lot of people taking videos. Didn't you send me?
I did, yeah.
Yeah,
There
it
was
was-
something in San Diego.
San Diego, lots of lights, a bunch of people freaking out.
So do you think that there's more of this activity happening, or there was just as much? It's just now people have devices readily available to document it.
I think that people are too busy looking at their phones and not looking at the sky, honestly. I think there's probably a lot of stuff going on, and people are living in cities. The light pollution is really bad.
Yes.
People just don't get out. They're not spending a lot of time just observing the world around them and staring at the sky.
Fucked
So
up.
I think there's probably stuff going on, and people just miss it.
Right.
Right?
I
Yeah.
honestly, and then there's those other theories
Yeah.
that they spray chemicals everywhere to make us,
Right.
which I definitely think so. I mean, I don't know.
Like I said, once you go into that rabbit hole, you can, like you said, you start opening your eyes and seeing the world for what it is and it can be, and it's so big, and it's stupid to think just it is this is it and nothing else is.
it's
possible.
very egotistical in
Right.
my mind to think that way.
Right. So just
Yeah.
be woke, man.
Is that the whole theme? We should have our quote. Sound Sisters. Be woke.
New T-shirt right there.
Right.
No, that's the thing about ghosts too. Is think about it. Why is it so scary? It's because we can't see it. We don't know what it is.
Right.
We know if you have experience, things move like for unexplained reasons. I'm kind of in the ballpark of everything is energy,
Right,
and
same.
when you depart, your energy is left over.
Yeah.
And depending on who you were on this life, good and bad energy. That's why
Yeah.
there's bad spirits and there's
Yeah.
ones
I
that
do
just
believe in
will leave
energy.
you alone.
I had full access. I was lucky enough to have full access to this abandoned jail. It's Madison Street Jail that's downtown Phoenix. That we were able to go in and document, a group of us photographers that I've known. So we eventually did a art show with all of our work. But when I was in there, I definitely had the conversation that we've talked about. Whenever I go to abandoned places, I'm just like, I respect you. I don't, please don't show, yourself, that kind of thing. I never saw anything, but there were other people that saw like water going off when there's no water or power. Like there's no water that's been turned on in years.
Wow.
And different things like that. But I did get feelings. And but that's naturally, I pick up a lot of feelings a lot of times.
Yeah.
And there's just like dark one,
Right.
you're cool in one space, and the next space it's
Yeah.
really, really dark. And so it's important to shield yourself.
Yeah, I think I unconsciously have that block up because I don't want to see a ghost.
Right.
Yeah.
But I've been places where, like my old house, I never saw anything, but I heard things and other people heard things. But I think I've put that out there into the world. Like, nope, I'm not ready. Maybe someday I will
Right.
be, and I can open up and see something. But
I had some
Same
trippy ass
thing,
thing
man.
happen with the Ouija board once, but
No.
that's
You
another
fuck with
episode.
that shit?
When I was little.
Stop. Come on, girl.
When I was little.
That's
That's
a no-no.
That was one.
That's
time.
a Mexican hell no, dude.
Yeah.
Like,
Oh
we're
gosh,
like we're not
you guys.
even,
do
we're
not
not even
go
touching
there.
that shit.
It was
Yeah.
no.
I'm not even looking at it.
It's still to this day one of the scariest experiences.
So what
of my
happened?
No,
entire
save
life.
it because we're doing a Halloween special.
Okay, we'll
Oh,
save
okay.
it for the next one.
Yeah.
I'll have to tune in.
I know we should have you back. This is like
Yeah.
your jam.
You haven't seen a ghost then?
Besides
your Ouija board.
I haven't. I've just felt energy,
Okay.
and and then the bra thing, and I've seen
Oh,
things
right.
like move. But as far as actual formations, I haven't seen anything.
I can't say no. I usually have like weird like dreams of dead ones.
Yeah.
Like a couple friends that died, and
Yeah.
like my grandma like just coming to say hi, or
I get that too
'cause
from my
I
grandma,
got into the
actually.
whole like what does this mean?
Yeah.
So I had that.
That's
but-
happened to me too.
But nothing weird. Like I said, I blocked it, and I'm like, I don't want to see it, and I'm not ready.
Yeah. That's the kind of thing, like, I do a lot of traveling too. So if we stay at, like, older places, before I, like, go to sleep, I say out loud, like, if you're here, I know you're here, so please don't bother me while I sleep. I'm respecting your space, and I'm asking you nicely to leave me alone.
Yeah.
Right.
Just saying it out loud. Because we went to Seattle and we stayed in I think the house was built in 1905.
Wow.
Really cool house.
Definitely haunted.
Probably.
Yeah.
I mean, that's an old house, and in
Yeah.
Seattle, I mean, so much history there. Just
Lots of people passing through too. It's like a port town.
oh yeah. So I was like, don't mess with me, ghost. If you're here, don't mess with me.
But I think that that's part of another reason why I'm obsessed with documenting abandoned things.
Yeah.
I mean, outside of also the emotional attachment I have for things that have been
Right.
left behind. But do you feel the same way? Like, because you like to go to abandoned things, and it
Yeah.
almost it scares me. But I
Yeah.
want to. I'm fascinated by it. I'm intrigued, and I want to. Because things change, and it's really interesting when you go in these abandoned places how much like nature naturally takes over
Yeah.
and it reclaims
Yeah.
itself.
That's
and
a big hell no for me.
yeah, no, but it's interesting because there's some places. Because I've been in an abandoned church, like in Pittsburgh once. That was insane. A school year. Actually, the outside was the church that they used in the Dogma film, Kevin Smith's Dogma film. Yeah.
wow.
What if there's crackheads in there? Like,
We usually go with. I usually go with a
group?
with
Okay,
I usually go with somebody else, and I go with like
Alright.
a male, you
So
know,
you're not,
that's
like,
bigger than
randomly
me, you know, that
stopping.
kind of thing. And we go in groups, and it is sketch, you know, and
Right.
but it's something that I love to do, and I feel the need that I need to document
Right.
Yeah.
these for people.
bring a weapon, man. I feel
Yeah.
safer.
I feel like
next
that
time you
history
do
is all
it.
disappearing.
I appreciate you
Yeah.
worrying about
Yeah.
me, friend.
Have you
Busted
been
cat.
to that old hotel in Jerome that was the psych ward?
Yes.
I
Have you?
haven't. No, I've never stayed there because I live so
Grand
close. I
Right.
usually just
I need to
home.
go
and
there.
It's kind of expensive.
I've
I will someday.
I've stayed at the Connor Hotel, and
Oh,
then
yeah.
and that was another one of the famous haunted ones. I've been inside the Grand Hotel. Have you guys?
No.
It is trippy, and I've definitely heard stories from different people that have lived up there, and
Well, I think they did a Ghost Adventures episode
Yeah.
there.
Those guys are so ridiculous.
I know.
Every time Zach says, bro, take a shot.
I made up a drinking game back in the day. Maybe I'll post it up if I find it. But it was a whole drinking game for Ghost Adventures. Like every time he says "bro" or like they repeat the ghost sound, you
Damn
take
it.
a drink.
Take a drink.
Why didn't I
Like
party with you
Goosebumps.
back then?
Yeah, like Goosebumps. That was like another drink. And when the other guy would freak out, that's like chug your whole beer. It was great.
You get scratched.
yeah, like shit like that. I'll try to find it. It was the best. That thing would probably go viral.
I
'cause
think
it's-
it was like when Aaron starts to freak the fuck
Dude,
out.
yeah.
Chug your drink.
That's what I was
Aaron
watching
always
last
freaks-
night. Last night I was like drinking, and then I was watching it, and I got cable again, so I got my Ghost Adventures, and it was just fucking weird. They were talking about demons and black shadows.
Yeah.
and it
Oh,
was-
they were in Prescott too.
yeah, they're all over the
Yeah.
place.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've stayed at the one main Prescott hotel that's haunted.
Oh,
Stayed
that
there a
was-
bunch of times. I
Not the
love
St.
it.
Michael, but the
St. Michael?
Hacienda.
Actually,
maybe?
the Hotel St. Michael. I guess
Okay.
that's known, but I don't get creepy vibes off of it.
Yeah, I've been there. I didn't get.
Yeah, I didn't. But even in
anything.
the haunted, the abandoned church I went into, I felt that was a lot of peace there. I just heard that that the neighborhood changed, and that's because Pittsburgh and a lot of other places on like Arizona, they don't bulldoze things. If things go out of commission, they just build around it. And so there's a lot of places that are abandoned. And so I was fortunate enough to tag along with a graffiti artist, so he knew all the spots. And so that's pretty trippy, to
Yeah.
go in some urban exploring. So maybe you're down. Maybe we should all take like a
I
little
would do that.
adventure.
That would be so great.
In Tucson,
yeah.
is it the Rialto? What's that hotel? Congress?
Hotel Congress.
I've stayed there twice, or 2-3 times.
Yeah.
and
Nothing?
I mean,
Yeah.
I'm
but-
usually shit faced when I stay there and I pass out. So
Do you do that on purpose?
Um,
Do you do that on purpose?
I've done that.
what
Well,
drink?
because I always want to go to haunted hotels,
I've
and
done
Rico is like
Yeah.
freaked out, and he's like, I don't know how the fuck you get me to do this shit because I
Yeah.
don't like it. So then he gets wasted, so he can pass out first, and I'm just awake, like looking around, talking to ghosts, telling them not to scare me.
Oh yeah, I've purposely done that. We played at the Monte Vista in Flagstaff.
Yeah.
Actually, was
And
that's supposed
they,
to be really
they put up
haunted
the
too.
bands. They put up the bands in
Yeah.
a room there, and I got a shit face because I was like, I don't
That's
want
exactly
to see
what he did
anything.
there,
And
too.
I
Yeah.
passed out. Yeah. I was like, I don't want to say anything.
I'm sorry. Please don't do it. Please don't. Please don't.
Andrea, didn't you say there was like a when we were either a show out of town, a drawer opened up or something?
Yeah.
And you heard like knocking on the door or some
Yeah.
shit. Horror stories.
Well, we didn't play, but I went. It's Not Dead Fest in California, in San Bernardino, and the like sponsored hotel to stay was the Hilton, but it was an older remodeled Hilton, and I was staying with Corey and then my ex at the time, and this drawer kept opening. And I just thought it was one of them, and I was like, why the fuck is this drawer, opening or whatever? But like every day it would be open, like open. So finally, as we were leaving, I was like, well, what are you guys opening that drawer? And they were like, no, I thought it was one of you. And
Fuck.
Oh no.
and then my buddy, he was staying two doors down, and he said that his toilet kept randomly flushing, and then he kept getting knocks at his door.
Yeah.
So it was obviously a spirit like fucking with us.
Yeah.
Like a
opening
little
my drawer.
rascal, just being mischievous, nothing too scary, just kind of letting
Hey,
it
I'm
out
gonna
in
open
there.
this and scare the shit out of you. Yeah.
That reminds me of just those stories that it's like, oh yeah, I picked up a hitchhiker, he's been dead for 20 years. It's like one of those stories.
Yeah. I don't know. You were saying you were getting into like murder podcasts or whatever. Like,
Yeah, I had to back off of that.
yeah.
yeah.
I spend way too much time alone and driving alone on the highway.
Right. True.
So I was like, I'm just getting way too paranoid, or maybe
Right.
more aware in situations that I would have been like, I'm fine.
Yeah.
you
Dude, that's
know?
how it started for me. Like when my dude moved to Tucson, there was 2 hours of driving.
Oh.
So I started listening to Coast to Coast, and then from there I'm like,
Yeah.
oh, what is this? And then it's, yeah. So I've been ruined since then.
I was actually worried for you for a while because I was like, she is watching all this stuff, freaking herself out. She's by herself. I'm like,
that's another reason why I kind of stopped.
Yeah.
'cause,
And then I saw it, and then I hadn't seen her for a little bit, and then she's like, "Yeah, I'm actually stopped. I
I did
took a
disappear
break
for a
and,
while.
you know.
I did disappear for a while. From
I'm all, Gabby, if you ever need someone, just give me a call because some scary stuff you're looking at.
I'm good. I'm allowed to go out once a week.
Okay. Well, it's good that he lets you do that.
I'm allowed to go out.
I'm glad he took you out.
Took you for a little walk.
Run the block.
Some vitamin D.
Yeah.
So can we come in and do a Sound Sister tattoo? We're thinking the logo, which is the audio wave that's Sound Sister.
Yeah, totally. Anytime.
That's
We'll make it
awesome.
happen.
Yay.
Can we do a in the tattoo studio podcast? Like we'll
Ooh.
mic you and one of us will be mic'd as we're getting tattooed.
I'm okay with that. I'll make sure the bosses are okay with
Okay.
that before I say for sure. I don't want to get in trouble, but yeah, I'm sure they'd be down.
That'd be so much fun.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then we should do like a Prescott visit where we go and like squashing and try to look for some Sasquatch.
Yes.
We can just hang out in my yard and stare at the sky too, since it's super dark out there.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. Can we do that next weekend? I'm all excited. I can't wait.
My dude's got some land up there too, so.
Oh, yeah.
It's fucking creepy out there.
Dang.
Yeah.
No, I'm all scared thinking about it. Fuck.
So fun. It's gonna storm tonight too, I think.
Yeah.
Whoa.
Can we make s'mores?
Yeah.
And burritos? We'll make a vegan.
know.
We'll make vegan burritos.
I have a huge garden. I can feed y'all out of there.
Are s'mores vegan? Are
I
marshmallows
have
vegan?
vegan s'more equipment at home.
Really?
Tight.
I like that
I'm
you're
down.
ready. You're down.
Already.
Yes.
I'm down.
Yes.
Just, diabetic. I can't eat all that good
yeah.
stuff. So.
Sorry,
So
friend.
if it's
I'm
vegan,
sorry.
okay, let's do it.
Is that okay?
And-
That vegan burrito
gluten-free.
sounds delicious. so.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. You woke me to the vegan burrito.
I don't know. I feel like we talked about like a lot of stuff.
Right.
I want to get friendship bracelets down.
Right. We bonded. We
With
went.
little flying saucers on
Yeah.
them.
Yeah.
Little
Like I
ghosts.
said, this shit fascinates me, so I could talk about this stuff all day.
Well, we do have a special Sound Sister Halloween episode coming up that we will talk all the creep
Right.
and play all the fun Halloween.
I will go in that
music.
rabbit hole again because I took a break, so I'm going back in.
Refresh.
All right.
Yeah.
I'm
You gotta train me. Girl. Yeah. But I can tell you about all the
so
cults
much.
and all the weird stuff because I want to tell you guys about some of that stuff.
Yeah.
Mind control just fascinates me. I mean,
Just look at each other.
I don't like. Okay, let me just put a disclaimer. I don't try to control anyone's mind. Everyone has a free will. But to me, I'm just like, wow. And because there's so many intelligent people that get just completely engrossed. Anyway, I'm done. Sorry.
Oh, that's so
She's
good.
giving me that look. I'm sorry.
We just give each other that look like, oh.
Like we could go for days.
Right. MK.
Yeah.
What's it? The MK.
MK Ultra.
Yeah.
MK Ultra.
It all goes down to Illuminati, man. Fucking.
That was an Ultramatic
celebrity.
song, MK Ultra.
I didn't know about that shit till like maybe like the last 6 months. I'm like, oh,
Yeah,
the government is doing shit.
Is it Netflix? Wormwood,
Yeah,
right?
real.
Wormwood. There was like they're supposed to. I haven't watched all
Oh
of
yeah, I
it.
thought they
but-
were supposed to do something.
Yeah, it's on there. We haven't watched it. Well, we got some homework,
Right.
so
Right. Or like Stranger Things.
yes.
Like the 2-dimension things.
Yes.
It's
Yes.
like, maybe you guys do know shit. And-
Ever since the election, I've been questioning if we've been living in the upside down.
right.
Girl,
Man.
I feel you.
I agree. Real quick, plug where the viewers can see your art and how to contact you.
Okay, so I'm usually at Golden Rule and Camelback Wednesday through Saturday. I have an Instagram, Miss Kitty Tattoo is my handle. I have a website which is getting finished, misskittytattoo.com, and I have an Etsy page where you can buy all kinds of crap that I make too. And that's also Miss Kitty Tattoo.
Can we craft in the woods?
Oh my god, yes, my heart.
So excited.
Yay!
And then we'll use our lunchbox purses.
Lunchbox purses just for craft supplies.
I'm getting you guys one.
Lunchbox purses unite.
I finally found my people. It's only taken 4 years.
Yeah. Make sure you like us, heart us, and check us out on Facebook. Check out the website, soundsistersaz.com. We've got all the episodes up there. By the way, we're on fucking Spotify now.
Right.
You guys?
Yeah.
Yay.
Spotify, legit. We're legit.
We did it.
iTunes, Google
Let's give it
Play.
up for Gabby, though,
Yeah.
for all the
Yeah.
hard work that
Thank
she's
you.
been doing. That's the girl right
Thank
there.
you. Thank
Lady
you.
behind the
Who would have thought all of a sudden us going back and forth on a conversation on IM, and then she's like, "What do you want for names?" We were like saying
Right.
punk chicks, punk whatever, and I'm like, "How about Sound Sisters?"
Yeah.
And then it was born.
Yeah.
So thank you for this ride,
Thank you.
Gabby.
Thank you.
Yeah.
It's been crazy.
It's been a
lot of
it's been
sleepless
awesome.
nights.
I hate to
a lot
tell
of
you.
work.
I hate to tell you guys, you're not getting rid of me. I know you guys are married on a band on a band. Well, now we're married on this podcast.
Fuck
so.
yeah.
Damn.
That's right. That's right, bitches. She's all
Sister
fucked.
wife. Sound sister wife.
Fuck. Sister wives over here. Let's do another song. Pick one that's like punk rock or whatever. Whatever. What are you feeling right
I
now?
don't give a shit.
Anything.
How about I don't know what it's called, but Tiger Army did a cover of a Lana Del Rey song that I really like.
Yeah. What'd they
let's play-
do?
I don't.
Oh shit.
I don't know what it's called, but it's good. I'm terrible with things like that.
That's okay.
That one.
That's why we have the internet.
Yeah.
I love me some Tiger Army.
I
Yeah.
always wanted to get the tiger bat tattooed, but
Oh, did
it's
we talk
very
about that on
cute.
the podcast?
Tiger.
no,
When we met
never.
Nick 13? We're gonna tell you that story.
I saw that picture.
So we'll find the song and then maybe we can go in to tell that story and
Okay.
call it.
Okay.
All right, so the song is actually Tiger Army Dark Paradise.
Yes.
Okay.
Let's go ahead and play that right now here on the Sound Sister podcast.
All my friends tell me I should move on. I'm lying in the ocean singing your song. Whoa, 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 whoa. That's how you sing it. Loving you forever can't be wrong. Even though you're not here, won't move on. Whoa, 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 whoa. That's how we played it. And there's no remedy for memory. Your face is like a melody that won't leave my head. Your soul is haunting me and telling me that every I'm scared that you won't be waiting on the other side. Every time I close my eyes, it's like a dark paradise. No one compares to you. I'm scared that you won't be waiting on the other side. All my friends ask me why I stay strong. I tell them when you find true love, it lives on. Whoa, 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 whoa. That's why I stay here. And there's no remedy for memory. Your face is like a melody. It won't leave my head. Your soul is haunting me and telling me that everything is fine, but I wish I was dead. Every time I close my eyes, it's like a dark paradise. No one compares to you. I'm scared that you won't be waiting on the other side. Every time I close my eyes, it's like a dark paradise. No one compares to you, but there's no you, except in my dreams tonight. Whoa, oh, 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 oh. I don't wanna wake up from this tonight. Whoa, oh, 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 oh. I don't wanna wake up from this tonight.
There's no relief. I see you in my sleep, and everybody's rushing me, but I can feel you touching me. There's no release. I feel you in my dreams, telling me I'm fine.
Every time I close my eyes, it's like a dark paradise. No one compares to you. I'm scared that you won't be waiting on the other side. Every time I close my eyes, it's like a dark paradise. No one compares to you, but there's no you, except in my dreams tonight. Whoa, oh, oh, oh. I don't wanna wake up from this tonight. Whoa, oh, oh, oh. I don't wanna wake up from this tonight.
And we're back. That was Tiger Army, Dark Paradise here on Sound Sisters.
Funny story about Tiger Army. Me and Gabby were down in Tucson, of all places.
At the Congress.
At Hotel Congress.
Yeah.
And they played a show at the Rialto.
Mm-hmm.
And so the show ended kind of early. I think it was like 10-ish,
Yeah.
10:30,
Mm-hmm.
early in Tucson. The Hotel Congress turns into this kind of like nightclub vibe. Like, it's kind of weird, but all the college kids go and they go and drink there. It's packed. So we're like, hey, dude, do you want to go and you want to go get a nightcap? And
Yeah.
we're like, yeah, okay, that's cool. We go in there, get a drink, whatever. We're like standing around in the lobby, and fucking out of nowhere, Nick 13 is standing there, and he's got this fucking like plate of like lemon meringue pie or like some kind of like piece of pie, and I was like, dude, there's Nick 13. We should get a picture with him. She's like, fuck yeah, let's go. I'm like, all right, cool. So we go over there, and I'm all, hey, dude, can we get a picture with you? And he literally doesn't say a fucking word. He's just like shaking his head yes and holding his goddamn pie. And I'm like, okay, cool. So like I get on one side of him. He's still holding his pie. So I'm on pie side. She goes on the other side of him. So she gets the arm. And I'm like, whatever, bitch. Like, whatever.
Lucky you. I mean, Nick 13, man. He's on my.
She got
She
the
got
pie.
the hand. I got the pie. And so we take the picture, and
I would have eaten some of his pie.
He's like, doesn't say shit,
No,
but
the
you
whole
can tell
time.
he's like, thanks for coming over and
Right.
You're having a
ruining my pie.
No, like before, because when we first asked him, he was like, he did the
yeah.
like, I'm not talking, but like with his hands, like we're like,
Okay.
okay. But yeah, the picture is him holding a fucking pie, and us.
So
Yeah.
That's gonna be in the gallery on the website.
It is. We did find it. Came up in our memories
Yeah,
the other day.
yeah, it came up like 2 weeks ago. I was like, 2 years ago, you and Gabby were with
mean-
Nick 13 and a piece of pie. I'm like,
We appreciate
yeah.
all you guys that are listening on apps, but still make it over to our site because we try to put the gallery all these
Visuals.
fun visuals that we talk about. And that epic pie photo will be there.
Should make it a shirt,
it will
dude.
be there.
Huh?
We should make it a shirt. Never forget.
No, it should be. You know what it should say? Tiger Army will never pie. And we're out.
Oh my gosh, my face hurts. It's so good.
Oh man! All right, we're Sound Sisters. We're out. Thank you, Miss Kitty, for coming in.
Thank you,
Please come
ladies.
back.
I'd
Love
love
talking
to.
you.
Yeah, we had a blast.
Bye.